kind of with those type of injuries, and in that you have to be worried about the right things, not who's not there, but what can I do in my game better, and that goes across the board.
Tua, also banged up, says regardless, he's ready.
My shoulder's good, brother. It's all good.
How long did it take for those residuals on the thumb to sort of get out of the way for you?
Everyone has the nicks and bruises at this point of the season. That's not an excuse for me.
And linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel knows the Bills have had the Dolphins' number lately, but
we got a team that's hungry. Obviously, coming off a difficult loss, we're motivated. We know what we're capable of doing, and we got a lot of guys in this room that they want to get that sour taste out of their mouth. And obviously, it's a big game, and we know it's at stake. So we're going to come out in full force.
So here we go. Yet another biggest game of the year for the Dolphins. Time to get ready with Gameday Uncensored, the pregame show for real Miami football fans on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Gameday Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day? Pour me in, coach. Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Make sure your next Cadillac is backed by Morse at Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Proud partner of the Miami Dolphins. By JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. By Kendall Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start the new year in a new ride with no payments for 90 days.
All right. Welcome on in, everybody. It is Game Day Uncensored here, 560 WQAM. Feels like election day. Feels like all the results are coming in. We're trying to figure out scenarios. We're trying to figure out the polls, who's coming back.
Trying to figure out if the Dolphins are frauds or not.
Well, we know one team that's a fraud, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they have just gone down to a Ryan Tannehill-led Tennessee Titans. He tried to give it to him. He said, Jaguars, here, take it. Trevor Lawrence said, no, thank you, sir. I'll just be the, better-haired version of you for the rest of my career.
Wow. That's deep. That's a level of depth that I hadn't expected nor was ready to go to.
Sorry, it's the truth though. That guy is all looks and packaging, but he has not been the football savior that they have told.
He will spray the ball from time to time, and I've seen it from when he beat Tua for Clemson. I watched that game and I thought to myself, yeah, I still want Tua.
Yeah,
you could have Trevor.
He is he looks the part, man, but that guy has had he's had Travis Etienne covering for him for a long time. I'm telling you. So anyway, if you guys are just tuning in, we obviously have a very big game tonight. Dolphins, Bills, Solana. You've been going over scenarios in your head right now. What are you feeling today? You look nervous.
I'm not nervous. I just, unfortunately, and look, I feel like Tobin, you and I are going to be we're going to be enemies by the end of this show, unfortunately. And, the chat is going to hate me. Dolphins fans who are extremely confident are going to hate me. But I was playing this all out in my head. I'm sorry, man. I have zero faith that this Dolphins team is going to get this done. I do. I have zero faith. I hope I'm wrong. Crush me on Monday if I'm wrong. But even if I'm wrong about today, you're going to get the Bills 2 straight weeks. If you win today.
If you win.
You're going to get the Bills 2 straight weeks. Gentlemen, I know how this season ends. I'm sorry.
How old are you?
I am 29 years old.
Okay.
I was 6 years old.
This is all you know.
This is all I know.
I understand.
This is it. And look. I want to make this clear. It's because of the injuries, truthfully, that I feel this way. If the Dolphins were 100% healthy, I would not feel this way at all, because this team is different. This is the funnest Dolphins team of my lifetime.
Yep.
You realize, though, like, if they beat the Bills today, they're going to be healthier against the Bills.
They will be.
Presumably, obviously, you could probably lose somebody. I mean, like, hell, anybody could get hurt. But if you went into today's game and you won. If all goes the right way, right? If all goes right and you won, you'd have a better Dolphins team taking them on the next week.
For sure. But I don't believe they can win this.
So much different. I don't understand this from Dolphin fans. I'm seeing this all over the place about people freaking out about a Bills rematch. If you win, like, there's no – I know what South Florida fans are. you're not going to be scared of the Bills if you beat the Bills. It makes no sense to me.
But I don't think they can beat the Bills today.
But they're not going to play the Bills, so who cares?
I just don't believe the Dolphins, as banged up as they are, can beat the Bills. I've seen this my entire life. I've seen it. I know what happens today, and I know what happens next week on the road at Kansas City. I know. I'm sorry. Like, I know what happens.
All right, so you're a coward.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's fine. I'm a coward. But the fact that you're not just as much of a coward as me, I want to know where that comes from, because I can't
Very
figure it
simple.
out.
It's very simple. I'm gonna always have just the next thing is gonna be my memory. I don't care. To me, that's an excuse-making fan base. They haven't done anything. They've been crowned by everybody. They're barely holding on to a playoff berth. I understand. Josh Allen's had your number. Last year it was all very
Tobin,
close.
They're 100% healthy.
Dude,
100% healthy.
You know what he is in his career? He's 10-2 against the Dolphins. But at Hard Rock, 3-2, not that great.
And the 2 losses, by the way, he had a chance to win in both of them,
but he didn't.
And he threw bad passes on both of them. That's fine. I'm not saying that.
No. One was dropped
in the end zone
by Charles Clay.
No, Charles Clay did not drop that ball.
They're
He
all
short hopped that ball.
Dude, you want to know
something else? No. This is Charles Clay. That was the first loss as a rookie.
Yeah.
Charles, the ball was in his hands in the end zone and he dropped it.
Ask the Bills fans what if. That should basically be their logo. What if they'd be the Patriots if they knew how to kick a field goal for 4 Super Bowls?
Tobin, I mean, you are literally speaking my language, because
I don't think I am. I think I need a Rosetta Stone you for guts.
I think it's absolutely disgusting that the elbow room in Fort Lauderdale Beach allows these.
We let them have the elbow room. Nobody wants the elbow room.
Nobody
wants the elbow room.
Don't give them the elbow room. No. Make it 100 miles north or 100 miles outside of the vicinity of Hard Rock
they
Stadium.
can have the elbow room.
No, hell no, they can't have the elbow room.
Elbow room
don't give them anywhere.
Elbow room
send
wants
them
to
to
become
Boca.
Bills country. Let them have the elbow room.
I still feel like Richie Incognito is probably patrolling around there shirtless somewhere. Somewhere in the elbow room. He's
with
just,
a dumbbell.
Yeah, just doing something.
I love Richie, by the way.
Oh, man.
Richie was fun.
He was fun. He was fun, and
could use him today.
Well,
oh wow, you're getting Robert Hunt.
They are getting Rob Hunt back. They are getting Rob Hunt back.
Is he gonna be back, or is he active and he's gonna be on the sidelines?
No, he's gonna be active. He's gonna be playing.
He's gonna be playing. He's starting today.
Yes, he's starting today.
All right.
I understand where both of you come from, and let me give you the rational perspective. I am taking off my media member hat.
All right,
and I'm putting it to the side. Tobin, this is a different Dolphins team.
Yep.
You have the AFC starting quarterback as your quarterback and a 80% Tyreek Hill with an offensive line that is regenerating and getting better.
Yep.
Okay. You don't have the one of the NFL's leading rushers, but you have Devon Achane, who has been kind of sensational every time.
He's kind of awesome.
Yeah, every time he touches the ball. Okay. Defensively,
that I'm more scared of.
Yeah.
I'm more scared of the defense.
At least you get Jerome Baker back.
Yes.
Yeah, and Javon Holland might be better in his second appearance than
if he plays.
First. Yeah, that's
questionable.
Oh, damn. Here comes reality, boy.
Too many live radio shows for this Javon Holland. Should have been in a hyperbaric chamber.
You should see the YouTube comments on our video post. What are you doing spending time on the podcast, bro? The Dolphins just got their ass beat. Why are you talking podcast, bro?
Because he's got another job to do, and
because he likes
and I absolutely love it because he's way more candid with you guys than he's ever been with us in the media. So I appreciate the honesty, and I thank Javon for taking ownership and responsibility for the sucky performance that they had in the secondary.
Even though you admitted you forgot what arm Lamar Jackson throws with.
Yeah.
I mean, he did stand there left-handed. I mean, it's reflexes.
Don't admit that. Keep that on your inside voice, Javon.
It's also funny though. Like he took responsibility for things that weren't even his fault. He's like, I should have been there. It's like, dude, you were on the other side of the field. Like everybody was just being too nice.
Everybody's just covered for Eli Apple.
Yeah.
Listen, Cater Code needs to be covered for as well. But Solana, I'm with you on this one. There's just way too many injuries, and even though you lost 2 of your top 10 players last week in Bradley Chubb and Xavier Howard.
Brutal.
Like then you got another 2 that aren't playing because they can't get cleared, and Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle. That's 4 of your top 10 players, and I'm not even including Jalen Phillips, who we already know is done for the season. Yeah, that's a lot of loss. That's a lot. Hell, Connor Williams, that's a lot of loss. Now, can you overcome that? Absolutely. But It's not looking good for you, especially with Daddy coming to town.
Omar, you can overcome it if you're playing Trevor Lawrence. You can overcome it if you're playing the Carolina Panthers.
Touche.
Can you overcome it 2 weeks in a row against a division rival that is playing good as they've played all season long, and it happens to be a team that has owned you in the Josh Allen era? I don't believe so. That's the caveat here. It's not that they can't overcome injuries. The Dolphins are talented enough. There's no doubt. This season, they've been different. They're
Depends
talented
on where those
enough.
injuries are.
But can they overcome it having to play this team 2 times in a row? I mean, that's where I struggle to find confidence.
I'm not one. I've said to you guys from the beginning of this season, the season is going to have to go through Buffalo, no matter what, because you're not. If you can't beat your daddy, you're not beating anybody. And do I still think that this team has Super Bowl talent, aspirations, trajectory? No, they've just taken way too many injuries. And unless Xavier Howard's foot is going to magically heal itself, you're one cornerback short of having a respectable team. But I will say this, Tua, and I do believe that he will eventually be that quarterback who can put a team on his back and carry them. Is he that player right now? No, he's not. He has not shown you that. There isn't a sample size that proves that he is that player. Now, I've been impatiently waiting for it all season, waiting, watching, looking, hoping. It hasn't shown up. But who's to say it doesn't show up today?
He's very good at home.
Or next week.
Yeah, but he's very good in this building. The Dolphins have been very good in this building.
Because, once again, there's precedent here also. Unfortunately, Tobin, there's precedent here with Tua in these games, the most important games of his career at Buffalo, his rookie season. Win and you're in. They lose by 50 points or whatever it was, 56 to 26.
Hold on. Let's before we throw.
It's not at Buffalo. You know that though, right?
Huh?
It's not at Buffalo.
No. I'm just saying there's precedent here with hoping that Tua Tagovailoa, who you guys know I love. I'm not. This is not a criticism of Tua. No, I mean I'm just trying to have.
Called him a liar 2 weeks ago.
Honest conversation here. Like we're hoping. Okay, they're going to overcome injuries. So now we're trying to figure out how are they going to overcome injuries. One way would be for your elite quarterback. I believe he's elite.
Yeah,
I believe
calm
he is.
down on that. We haven't seen the elite game.
I'm so embarrassed to be on the air with you two right now.
Listen,
you guys have lost all of your courage.
Tell me the elite game.
Lamar Jackson.
Tell me the elite game.
That's
the elite. He just won a game against the Dallas Cowboys. He took them home.
I'm
clinched
with
the playoffs.
I'm with you.
He just did it.
I'm with you.
He leads the league in passing.
I'm with you.
He never loses at home unless concussed.
If the Dolphins don't win a playoff game, that game didn't matter. Tobin, that game didn't matter. This is the game that matters.
Have they lost the playoff yet?
What's the big pass he threw in that Dallas game?
Have they lost the
No, come on, Omar. He led them on a game-winning drive.
He led them on a game-winning drive. And what's the pass that he threw? He threw a quick hitch to.
Who cares? I just saw Trevor Lawrence couldn't do it.
All right.
I just saw Trevor Lawrence couldn't do it.
Touche.
He couldn't do it. He threw 3 rockets right over his receivers.
Right.
My question is not if Tua Tagovailoa is the franchise quarterback. I believe he is. I believe he's going to get the extension. And this season he proved that he could be elite
and durable.
First and durable, first in passer rating, first in yard. Like he proved all those questions to me. But on the road at Buffalo's rookie season, win and you're in. They get blown out, right? Okay. But Chan Gailey, Brian Flores. So we throw that out the window. Okay, fine.
He was also on his hip was a Jenga tower.
Fine. Next season at Tennessee, win and you clinch a playoff spot. And just because they lost that game didn't mean that they weren't going to make the playoffs, but they lost the next game anyway, so it didn't matter. And Omar, we talk about that Tennessee game all the time. At Tennessee, they lose 35-3 or whatever it was. That was his worst quarterback rating of all time. That was one of the worst displays of quarterbacking I've ever seen in my entire life.
FU exchange to Brian Flores.
Correct. But then we throw that out the window, right? Because Brian Flores, which I'm fine. I'm fine to throw that out the window because Brian Flores clearly was limiting Tua Tagovailoa.
Hated it.
Last season, in December, the 2 most important games that he played prior to his injury were where? At San Francisco, didn't have a good game. At LA, didn't have a good game.
Throw in Green Bay, too.
Yeah, Green Bay, he was concussed the second half, so I don't even include that game.
They're pretty good in Buffalo, though.
This season, he's been excellent. But the games that matter, the games where you need Tua Tagovailoa, forget if it's Tua, your starting quarterback to win you the game.
Yep.
It was the Dallas game. Okay, he won the game. I'm willing to give him that. at Baltimore last week, and he had the 2 touchdown drop passes, but the Dolphins had no chance.
Nobody
of
was
that
beating
game.
Baltimore last week.
Correct.
But
game,
you would agree his receivers let him down more than
for sure.
he let the team down.
But Tobin, no, for sure. I'm not blaming that loss on Tua, but this game to me,
well, then what are you doing?
Is the game where Tua Tagovailoa has to step up. He has to overcome the injuries that the Dolphins have.
So if Gabe Davis cannot be stopped today because
there's context. There's context. If the
is
Dolphins
there context? It doesn't seem like you're adding a lot of context to it.
There's context. If the Dolphins give up 60 points, I mean, I'm not putting this loss on Tua, but
because I would say
Tua Tagovailoa has to perform at an all-pro level today. He has to.
Okay, but I would say Tua, if you were going to put him on a blame list for Baltimore, probably not even in the top 10.
I'm not blaming the loss on Tua. I'm telling you, as far as today's game,
2 interceptions,
he doesn't have a signature victory in his NFL career, a legitimate, meaningful signature victory.
When the season is
on the line.
when
he
the season's
doesn't.
on the line.
And the 2 opportunities that he's
That's
had
valid.
early in his career,
pooped
the bed. And again, Brian Flores, like, I'm willing to give him those. Fine. But this is year 4.
No, just call him Lefty Kirk Cousins.
At some point,
call him that.
Listen, you called Raheem Mostert a merchant last week, so I don't even want to hear from you.
Devon Achane was amazing.
Gentlemen,
and he had a touchdown, by the way.
At some point, we can't just say, well, it was Brian Flores. Look what Brian Flores. At some point, hey,
I agree.
You got to go win the game. And if the Dolphins give up 60 points today, I'm not going to blame the loss on Tua, obviously.
I agree.
But I don't think the Dolphins are going to give up 60 points because I don't think this Buffalo Bills offense is really great. I mean, they run the ball well, but Josh Allen hasn't been good. I think this game is going to come down to whether the Dolphins can overcome their injuries and if Tua Tagovailoa can go in there and win them a game. And then we'll do this exact same conversation next week. But if he
give him no
credit
for this.
I will. If he gets this one on his resume,
no, he has to beat the Bills twice.
I will feel much better about next week.
Well, that's my point, though. Like you're coming in here, you like I saw that your slumped shoulders because the Bills were gonna have to probably play him twice at home.
Yeah, Tobin, because I know how this. I'm sorry, man. Like I feel terrible about it, but I know how the season ends.
He doesn't know anything else.
Tobin, I was 5 years old.
This isn't this. We've all watched Dolphins football for the last 23 years.
Yeah,
this hasn't been that. It's an enjoyable product to watch.
Yeah, but the ending can be that so Dolphins. It can.
It can, and maybe it will be. But I'm not going down thinking it's the same because you want to know something? It's not Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, and it's not Jay Cutler, and it's not Jay Fiedler, and it's not Chad Benson. They have the leading passer. He's been pretty damn good.
Outside of these games.
He's got to have a signature win. That's fine.
Outside of these games.
That's fine.
That was my only point.
He's 25. Like, Lamar Jackson's got 1 playoff win in his career. Everybody is sitting here drinking his bathwater.
He's an MVP, and he's about to win his second
MVP.
MVP.
Rat's ass if you're an MVP. Do you win playoff games or not? What's your grade?
What?
What's your grade?
What?
What is your grade?
Who cares if he's an MVP?
Hold on.
He's won these games before, Tobin.
Dude, he's got 1 playoff win in his career.
but guess what?
He's had all the questions Tua has. Durability, contract questions.
He's been there.
Anybody could have traded for him, Solana. Nobody did.
And are they upset about it?
You probably not.
They look like idiots. Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's not Captain Hindsight. It's a reality. They all wish they could have traded for him.
Yep.
You think the Panthers or the Falcons aren't saying, what the hell did we just do?
Dumbest thing ever.
What the hell did we just do? We could have had that.
But you got my point. They didn't think that 6 months ago. And you've watched Tua play football for the last 2 years. Have you thought he's been good or not good?
Good.
I think
Do you think he's good or not good?
I think he's great.
Okay. So are you going to have faith that the guy is going to have a good win in a building he's only lost 5 times in his career, 2 of them concussed, 1 of them with broken ribs? Ivy, you got faith that he's going to win the game or not?
I don't.
You're a fraidy cat. Back after this.
Broadcasting live from the Ed Moore Sawgrass Auto Mall Studios. Shop massive savings on a massive Chevy.
HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
All right, welcome back. Game Day Uncensored here. Tobin, Omar Kelly, and Chris Sims.
Nah, he ain't a hater like that. Come on, don't do him like that.
Oh, man. Let's get to our keys to the game, brought to us here by Ed Morris. Shop massive savings on massive Chevy inventory, all backed by Morse at Ed Morris Sawgrass Chevrolet. Visit edmorsesawgrasschevrolet.com. Chevy, find new roads. Let's hear a little bit from Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel said that Ravens tape. Oof, that game. Here's him on having to watch that tape.
Biggest thing is you can't run from it. And case in point, thus far in the season, I think our team has really done a great job of that, considering last year all we did was lose on streaks. And we've been able to minimize all the losing streaks to one game this year. I think that speaks to what it takes in a parity-ridden, tough, top-tier league. You have to be able to not run from things that hurt. And when you put in the work and then certain things happen in the game, and then to the Ravens' credit, they play a really strong game. It hurts to even turn on the tape, but you have to go that direction so that you can put your best foot forward toward Buffalo, which is critical assessment of the last game today, and get your minds right for our plan for Buffalo on Wednesday.
There you go. Mike McDaniel earlier in the week. What did you think of his explanation there, Omar, about the Ravens ass kicking that they took?
I thought it was fair and valid. They have not had multiple game losing streaks. But as I pointed out and wrote in a column for alldolphins.com, there's nobody in the NFL who's going to walk into MBT Stadium or whatever they call their name, their initials, and was going to beat the Ravens last week. They waxed the 49ers, who everybody concluded was the best team in the NFL.
Yep.
On the road, then came home, beat down the Miami Dolphins,
Oof.
a good Dolphins team, and they're probably the best, hottest team in the NFL right now. A complete team, complete performance.
They're the best.
Tremendous challenge.
They're the best
for any team. Play a physical brand of football, and nobody's going to beat them. Just because you embarrassed yourself against the best team in the NFL, that does not mean that you are an embarrassment. And that's the struggle that I had with Dolphin fans all week. They're like, look at us, we're frauds. Okay, you got embarrassed by the best team in the NFL. Everybody was panicking during that game, and they will learn from it. Now, the question is, will they mask all of their injuries? That's my biggest worry. It's not, we embarrassed ourselves against Buffalo. No, you'll learn from that. To me, the question is, can you mask all of your injuries? Can you mask and overcome the loss of Bradley Chubb? Can you mask and overcome the loss of Xavier Howard? And we shall see.
Yeah, the thing that I found interesting with the Ravens game, and I found interesting with this whole season with the Dolphins, is I do feel like from a talent standpoint, I don't look at them and I think that they are outclassed from talent. But one of the things that they do have to grow up with is, especially on the road, like the mistakes they make, like dropping touchdowns in the end zone. Like, you can't settle for field goals in opportunities like that. Like, I thought basically when Tyreek Hill dropped that touchdown, I'm like, all right, good luck. You're not like you're not going to win games giving up things like that.
Yeah.
Those things have to be executed, and good teams execute that. And that's what's been frustrating with these big matchups.
I'm with you, Tobin. Yes, I didn't like watching Tyreek Hill drop that pass, and Chase Claypool, thank God I didn't put the $5 flyer in for Chase Claypool anytime touchdown, because I would have been 50 million times more upset that he dropped that pass.
What was the odds on that, by the way?
I think it was like plus 1,600, if I remember
I'll check
correctly.
right now what he is.
Yeah.
I bet you get a sweet, you get a sweet deal.
Should be plus 30,000.
How much did you put down on that?
No, I almost did. Instead, I went with Bradley Chubb anytime touchdown plus 10,000, and it should have been Bradley Chubb I should have maybe not gone with Bradley Chubb, unfortunately.
Um,
Poor dude. But go. What is it?
Chase Claypool anytime touchdown today, plus 1,000.
You got the target, right? But Tobin, remember last week when we were talking about what the keys to the game were?
Mhm.
I truthfully last week believed that the Dolphins offense were going to do what they've been consistently doing against the top teams in the NFL, which is score between 20 to 27 points, around that neighborhood. I didn't think there was a shot in hell they could get into a shootout again with Baltimore and win the game. I told you last week, it's going to come down to the defense. The defense has to have a massive game. The defense has to limit Lamar. They have to come up with a couple takeaways. They have to have game momentum changing plays. And obviously that didn't happen. But aside from it not happening last week, they allowed 56 points and they lost two of their top 5 remaining best defensive players. So, I go into this game again feeling the same way, truthfully. I don't think as great as Tua and the Dolphins offense are, I don't think they're going to be able to put up 45, 35 points against elite defenses like we're facing once again with Buffalo. So to me, it's the defense that has to step up and keep this game close so that the Dolphins can win a 23-20 game, a 27-24 game like they did against Dallas. And I don't know if the Dolphins defense right now, because of injury, is capable of doing that.
Yeah, the thing for me that's the scary thing on the injury front is definitely X more than Chubb, because this has not been a Chubb reliant pass rush all year. Like there are a lot of sacks and hits to be had around their entire front line. They're putting, we know Van Ginkel, he's had a really great season. Chubb said that he should have been a Pro Bowler this week. Emmanuel Ogbah, you could do a lot worse than replacing with Emmanuel Ogbah and Melvin Ingram for a game setting. But I don't know how they replace Xavier Howard. I'm terrified with Eli Apple out there. Kader Kohu has looked every bit like the undrafted rookie that he was, as much as a story he was last year, and it's an awesome story. Don't get me wrong. It's tough. Like they bully him. They bully him, dude. That's to me almost the biggest thing. Is
he has 131 passer rating. Quarterbacks are completing 82% of the passes thrown at him.
Oof, that's tough.
That's
tough.
Yeah.
It was funny.
At any point, anybody should be benched. If he should be benched.
It was crazy. Like him getting torched. I mean, just Eli Apple looking in. Who was he looking at? I don't understand. What was he looking at on that play? Poor Duke Riley. Like, God bless his soul. He looks like Aquaman, but looked like a fish out of water at times with Justice Hill running around.
He got picked on.
Yeah, but he's a backup linebacker. Like,
yeah,
it's what it is. Like, eventually that stuff. Like, I think what we've seen is, it's great. There's been a lot. They haven't let the injury stuff crush them this year. There've been a lot of notable things, but like an elite guy's going to pick on your weaknesses.
Yeah, no, an elite coaching staff, and that's the difference between the Harbaughs of the world and the Ron Riveras. No offense, Ron.
I think he's got bigger fish to fry than listening to us right now.
Yeah, I mean, check still clears though.
That's right.
Keep that in mind. And a lot of these coaches having their contract when there's an owner change, they get their entire contract fully guaranteed. Just so you know. But listen, this situation is, when you have elite coaches, and I don't know where the Bills coach falls into that elite realm. I'm not putting him in the elite conversation. Harbaugh is an elite coach.
He's got some weird metaphors, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. When you have an elite coach, they target the replacements, the weak link. I have a column up on alldolphins.com right now, which is basically talking about all of the key injured players and who is the guy that has to step up for them. Because if I'm an opposing coach, the Duke Rileys, the Lester Cottons, the Liam Eichenbergs, the Brandon Joneses of the world, I'm going at them. I'm targeting them.
Of course.
Circle on their back. Target on the back. And yeah, Duke got attacked. And he did his best, but he got attacked. And I think Jerome will be back today. I don't know if he's going to be in the starting role, but that's how I would play a lot of these, backups. And unfortunately for the Miami Dolphins, they got a lot of backups on the field right now.
We'll take a quick break here on Gameday Uncensored. We're streaming live, YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560 WQM. You guys can get your comments in there. Back with more after this.
Gameday Uncensored on AM
here, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until kickoff, 8:20 from Hard Rock Stadium. Don't try and buy a parking pass down there. That's been the thing this year. Don't you do it. Otherwise, you're screwed. I mean, take a ride share, take a bright line, hop in some aqua and orange pickup truck.
You could go park on 27th Avenue and 199th. There's a little community that's used to be known as Cherry Bay.
Mm-hmm.
You could park over there in front of somebody's lawn for about $30-$40, and you're good to go.
Wow!
But is it
no blocky?
No blocky,
no
like
no
Orange
blocky.
Bowl?
They got you covered. They've been doing it for years.
But like for real, no blocky, or Orange Bowl, no blocky.
No,
where they tell
for
you
real,
no
for real,
blocky, and then
for
you're
real,
blocky,
no
blocky.
blocky. For real, no blocky.
Man, if you ever
hood, no blocky.
If you've ever gotten blockied on an Orange Bowl, what a death weight that is. You just gotta sit there. You just waiting the whole night. When is this guy going to be here? How much longer could he be gone? He also went to the game, I assume. He's parked outside of me, but I have nowhere to go.
See, but you knew the house that you parked at generally. So if you were a rookie and you're going to a new house,
it was a new house.
Yeah. I gotta blame you.
I know.
If you don't have an arrangement with the no blocky people, that's on you.
It's just it was a long wait. I was just like, wow. I would have figured it would have been bing bing.
I used to go to the Marlins Park when the Marlins Park was still, new.
Mm-hmm.
I've never yet parked in a parking garage.
Oh, me neither. I park at those people. Those are nice.
Really?
No.
At the new Marlins
Park?
Park?
Now I do because it's on the phone. It's like, it's easy. But like Omar said, like the first 2 years there, no, I'd park at the apartment complex right next to it for $5, $10. Depending on the game.
I gotta support the community, man.
Okay.
I mean, even though they're probably being gentrified at the present moment, but I gotta support them.
Yeah, you gotta take care. Speaking of at home, there was a report this week that the game's gonna be 53% Bills fans, which is just an oddly specific number.
Oh, come on.
Which is just a weird.
Come on.
53%.
At the most 40%. Stop.
I'm like, if you're gonna lie, if you're gonna lie and make stuff up,
how do we come up with 53 though?
Exactly.
Exactly. 40, I might have bought it. 53%. Like, come on, let's be real here.
I mean,
and how do you track that?
Based on elbow room attendance, the elbow room attendance was much froggier last year than it was for. Dude, I was on who was I on? I was on with some Rochester station this week. They're still talking about that game. About the sun. I'm like, are you kidding me?
The sauna game.
Like, you guys had a good run. Like it's always hot here earlier in the year. You would think like this is some game that will go down in lore. I feel like the Bills fans are the only people that talk about this game.
And it's a brisk like 56 degrees now.
Oh, it's
in
nice
South
now.
Florida.
It's beautiful.
Oh, don't call it nice.
I rubbed that in their face.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the weather like up there, huh?
Oh, okay.
They're
You're
like,
saying comparatively speaking.
Yo, dude, I was standing outside of my backyard. It was just a beautiful 68 degrees. And they're just like, we haven't seen the sun in 6 weeks.
Suicide capital of America.
I was just like, geez.
I have my entire my American, my white family lives in Rochester, New York. They're all massive Bills fans.
Wow.
Not talking to them. Just can't talk to them right now. But I mean, they literally get 5 hours of sunlight a day.
My daughter's math teacher, 6th grade math teacher, Bills fan. He's been waiting for this. I'm like, listen, you're gonna come in on Tuesday, real froggy, aqua and orange. That's how you're gonna be decked out. Getting him ready for the rematch ass kicking. Love it. Anyway, the Bills are
He's
3.
confident, is he?
He needs to be.
I wish I could have his confidence.
It's better to be confident like that than be a total coward like me. But I have no guts.
Omar, if you do this is exactly how you do it, dude. You host radio down here, you come in cocky, and then it's like, Heat are going to beat the Bucks. And then they do. And then you're like, look, you're a genius. And if you were wrong, oh, well, you weren't supposed to be right anyway.
Yep.
No bigs.
I had the Panthers beating the Bruins when they were down 3-1.
Panthers are rolling right now.
I mean,
this might be hockey town soon.
I didn't even know who the hell Pasternak was, but I had the Panthers beating them anyways. Guess what? Looked like a genius.
Here is Mike McDaniel. They have been very good at home this season. Only one loss, inexplicably, to the Titans. Go figure. Of all losses. Here's Mike McDaniel saying they've earned their confidence at home.
This team has earned confidence at home, but I know the Bills probably don't care about that. it's a football game
depending on the temperature.
that we've played this team the last 3 times in Orchard Park, which is a little unique. It feels like a lifetime ago that we played here at home against them. So that I guess in a sense, it's just odd to play 3 road games against one team in a year. So that's kind of unique. But as far as whether that they just want to play and beat an opponent after not being able to sleep or harboring all the things that come with a collective experience like that. And we're eager to press forward and do something that we feel very fortunate to do, which is compete for a division and something that has been on our mind since we started this in April.
Yes, he's been talking about these games in just December and January all year. This is what he wanted, Omar. All year he's been leading up to this. He's got his game at home. I think the thing that's probably like the Dolphin fan is shook because of the one this year. Because like the thing is, I get Josh Allen has a good record against the Dolphins. That's fine. This matchup, this rivalry was very, very close last year. It was very close. Every one of these games came down to the wire.
Yeah.
It was a fun. And I think that's the thing is like
last year. Then you got your tail.
Got your tail. But like, am I gonna really get? I'm gonna get shook over a week 4 thing, Omar. Like that, I can't do that.
It happened. You can't ignore it.
I can get close to ignoring it. I can get close. I can get pretty close to ignore it.
I'm ignoring it. I'm not lacking guts today because of what the Bills did to the Dolphins in week 4 at all. Like,
you're lacking guts because of the injuries.
I'm lacking guts because of the injuries and just based on precedent of what this Dolphins team has done to me at this stage of the season every single time in my entire life. But Tobin, I mean, I'm not worried about what the Bills did in week 4. They're a totally different team than they were in week 4 as well. They're a totally different offense than they were in week 4 also. I also think the Dolphins are a different team than they were.
Got to do this
in
one for
week
Dorsey,
4.
man. Got to do it for Dorsey.
Yeah.
They did Dorsey wrong.
They scapegoated him.
Yeah.
Should have Dorsey in Stephen Ross's booth today.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Doing a waddle. Well, I guess you can't do a waddle today. Waddle's probably not going to play. Which, by the way, what the hell happened? I thought Waddle was going to play.
He practiced once. I didn't tell you he was going to play. I didn't think he was going to play.
Yeah, but his comments were like, anything is possible.
I thought Raheem was going to play.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, that's not good at all. These high ankle sprains, brother, they look at me quoting Tua. They are a challenge to come back from. They are grueling to overcome, and it takes some time. You got to have some patience with it. So you're down to your top offensive weapons, and you just got to make do.
We'll take a quick break here on Game Day Uncensored. Keep on rolling here. It was obviously a very eventful week for the Miami Dolphins with the injuries. And also, what the hell are the Dolphins going to do with Jalen Ramsey in this game? Do they need to make him more part of the game plan? We'll get to that coming up as well. Game Day Uncensored rolls on after this.
Text WQAM on the Kendall Toyota text line at 305.
But that's what the Dolphins must do tonight, because the AFC East Division title is on the line. The Buffalo Bills have come down from the snowy tundra of Western New York to try and take the title themselves. Tonight has all the makings of an all-time battle at Hard Rock Stadium. But Finn's injuries continue to mount. Key among them, Bradley Chubb. Coach Mike says the Dolphins will have to find a way. They still gotta play the game.
It's a big loss for the team in the locker room just because of the human being that he is and then his play. And it's one of the things that is a challenge for every single team that's in the league at this stage of the year. So it's something that, it takes a collective mindset from everyone to kind of with those type of injuries. And in that you have to be worried about the right things, not who's not there, but what can I do in my game better? And that goes across the board.
Tua, also banged up, says regardless, he's ready.
My shoulder's good, brother. It's all good.
How long did it take for those residuals on the thumb to sort of get out of the way for you?
Everyone has the nicks and bruises at this point of the season. That's not an excuse for me.
And linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel knows the Bills have had the Dolphins' number lately, but
we got a team that's hungry. Obviously, coming off a difficult loss, we're motivated. We know what we're capable of doing, and we got a lot of guys in this room that they want to get that sour taste out of their mouth. And obviously, it's a big game, and we know it's at stake. So we're going to come out in full force.
So here we go. Yet another biggest game of the year for the Dolphins. Time to get ready with Gameday Uncensored, the pregame show for real Miami football fans. On AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Gameday Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on Gameday. Pour me in, Coach. Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Make sure your next Cadillac is backed by Morse at Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Proud partner of the Miami Dolphins. By JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. By Kendall Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start the new year in a new ride with no payments for 90 days.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is game day. Uncensored here. 560 WQAM. In the words of Tyreek Hill on Twitter today. Everything you got tonight.
Did it move you?
It did. That was a Goosey's tweet. Zonk moved me this week too. We had Zonk on with me and Leroy this week, and he was just like, "The turkey's on the table. This is all that matters."
He was great.
I was like, "Wow,
yeah,
wow,
was
Zonk."
great.
Zonk's still with it, man. He's he got a great man cave too. He has like the authentic Zonk jersey behind him.
Excellent.
Yeah, he was
Why
all
wouldn't
about
Zonk
it.
have the authentic Zonk jersey behind him?
I don't know. I didn't know if Zonk would care about stuff. I pictured a dead moose behind him for some reason.
Okay, I can see the dead moose. I absolutely see.
That's
the dead
why
moose.
he also revealed that he wanted to kick in his television during the Ravens game, which is exactly what I wanted to hear. But I picture with Zonk, like he's got the old school television. I don't think Zonk has a flat screen. Like I still picture him, Omar, with like
the big box.
Yeah. Now big. It's still a big TV, but it's like, like it's got the tubes all the way in the back, That's how a Zonk television is. Like the first maybe the first HD TV that ever came out, but it was like real heavy.
Yeah.
Real heavy. That's how I picture
I can
it.
see it.
Let us get to our player to watch, was brought to us by our South Florida Lexus Steelers. Experience amazing. And that player is Jalen Ramsey. And this has been a very hot button topic about Jalen Ramsey, Omar, whether or not the Dolphins should move him around on Steph Diggs. As you mentioned, Kader Kohu probably got some bad flashbacks of Stephon Diggs and what he's done to him.
Your choices are you move him on Stephon Diggs, or you go the entire game with Stephon Diggs playing slot trying to attack Kader Kohu. Your choice.
It's a tough choice. Here was Jalen Ramsey on Fangs and him speaking about his role this game. Here's Jalen.
Jalen, while not giving away the game plan at all, obviously is one of the best players in the league. Have you and Vic talked about a way to maximize you? I'm not saying how, but to maximize you so that you're involved in more plays than might often be the case where teams try to avoid?
That's a question for Vic.
Is it your hope that you're involved a lot, however it is?
Yeah, that's always been my hope. But I'm gonna do whatever the team need me to do, regardless of that role at this point in the season. Yeah.
There you go, Jalen Ramsey. Cards close to the vest on him.
Yeah, even though the last week he basically said, well, not last week. What opponent was that? Oh,
against
Hopkins. Cowboys. Yes, it was against Cowboys.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. He was like, "Yeah, that ain't the game plan. I'm just going to be on my side. That ain't the game plan." Let's hope it's the game plan this time.
Yeah, I mean,
come on. After Vic Fangio played the Buffalo Bills the first week, he fell on the sword, took full ownership for the strategy, the approach, allowing Cater to get abused, and not switching around. And the problem that I have with that is Xavier was literally doing everything but on his knees begging you to let him shadow Stephon after Cater was getting his face punched in. So if you learn from that experience and you've grown from that experience, we're not going to do the same thing again, correct?
That is unless Vic Fangio subscribes to the definition of insanity, But
yeah,
let me tell you about the old are stubborn.
Yeah, I actually wrote my opening line in my alldolphins.com column on this subject is maybe Vic Fangio is not as stubborn as we think he is after all. Because he was emphatic. Hey, I never said I didn't like shadowing or having guys travel. I've done it from time to time throughout my career. I just prefer when I have two elite cornerbacks that I don't have to do it. And we're like, that certainly doesn't sound like your tune from 15 weeks of the season. But, hey, as long as we've learned from our mistakes, we're fine with the corrective behavior.
Did he find the need to correct himself this week when he said that Josh Allen is John Elway on steroids, but not actually on steroids? Like, I find that adorable.
Yeah, that could have been headline. That could have been headline material. I mean, it still was pretty damn good.
It's a great line.
Yeah.
It's a great line. It would be funny if Vic Fangio actually accused him of steroid use. That would be like Dolphins defensive coordinator accuses Bills QB of PED use. It's a bold strategy. Nobody's ever thrown out, I guess, because he got legal actions and legal recourse. But it would be great if that really just threw somebody off before the weekend. It's like, Josh, is this true? Are you using the juice?
Whatever it takes, man.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
I'm not trying to piss off Daddy before he comes and visits.
If you told Daddy he needs if he needs the Bane juice to make sure that he can get.
Could you imagine Josh Allen wearing a Bane mask?
Oh no, no, I can't.
Oh yes, I can't do a Bane voice, but goodness gracious!
Can you, Omar? What can you explain to me what happened on Twitter this week on our Instagram with Miko Grimes, not former wife, she is the current wife of former Dolphins cornerback Brent Grimes, who is one of the greatest interceptions I've ever seen in my life. She's really offering the Flacco deal. That's what she wants. She's saying Brent will come here for a cool 75 G's.
He'll come here to save your season, and I actually
what?
He will come here and save your season.
Brent Grimes.
I like it.
5 years removed from the last down he played in the NFL. Will come here and save the Dolphins season.
One of the most ridiculous athletes that I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Not
and understand that I've seen great athletes. I have seen Brent Grimes routinely, consistently. Brent Grimes doesn't walk upstairs to get out of a pool. You know what Brent Grimes does?
He jumps right out.
He jumps right out of the pool.
He invented that? He invented that? Did the kid? Because I saw the kids kind of made that popular. Did Brent Grimes invent jumping out of a pool?
I don't know. He was doing it before he got here. He was doing it on the Achilles injury. That's how he convinced the world that I'm healed from an Achilles. And I'm not joking. That's how he gets out of a pool. And Brent's in phenomenal shape. Brent's just one of the most ridiculous athletes that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And do I have a belief that 5 years removed out of the NFL, he retired really just because he kind of lost the passion after 14 years, by the way, 14 years in the NFL, just kind of lost the passion for playing. He's a Dolphin fan. He goes and he tailgates and probably goes home sometimes. I don't know if he's going to go to the game. And would he come here and save the season by replacing Eli Apple? I would put money on that because he's a phenomenal athlete.
I would love something like this in the NFL where you could have like a legend slot, right? And every year, like that legend can just kind of stay loose, like, and then if you bust glass in case of emergency,
yeah,
Pouncey can come in for we got
Pouncey's like the size of a linebacker.
Yeah, he's too
right
skinny
now.
now, but like it's just something like this. I love
Yeah.
this idea. I love the dial it up deal. I love it, old
listen,
man coming off the couch.
And normally I would tell you that this is just an absolute insane, preposterous, ridiculous idea, except for the fact that I've seen Brent. I know he works out. I know he plays tennis. I know he still runs a hill. I know he's in great shape.
Not a contact position.
And he's played 14 years in the NFL. You think you can't tell him from the sideline, hey, it's man, it's zone. And he's good.
Yeah, the only issue of this is like you would definitely hurt the feelings of everybody, but like who cares? It's Eli Apple.
Here's the thing. If I could tell you right now, I could tell you without a sliver of doubt, you're not going to the playoffs. I mean, you're not going to the Super Bowl. Right now, I could absolutely tell you. And you know why I could say with conviction you're not going to the Super Bowl? Because Eli Apple is going to be on the field for 40 snaps a game, and Cater Cole is going to be on the field for 40 snaps a game. You are not going to the Super Bowl.
In fairness, he was just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago as the starting cornerback for the Bengals.
Okay. All right, you might have me on that one.
Sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
but he was.
Yeah.
We all watched him get roasted by the Rams.
You will watch him get roasted plenty for the next 2 weeks, and I'm not even.
I'm just saying he has recently been in the Super Bowl,
yeah.
but I don't hate your idea. I know a lot of Dolphin fans hate their idea.
I hate that idea.
Why do you hate it?
First of all, Tobin, I can't believe you're jumping on this bandwagon. But anyways, the idea that, hey, Dolphins would need a cornerback.
They do.
Maybe Brent Grimes
absolutely
should be considered. Like, I mean, I think it's ridiculous, but I'm willing to have the conversation of, hey, maybe he should be considered. Fine. Even though this guy hasn't played football in 5 years, he's 40 years old, and yeah, a legend slot. I love that idea. Hey, Brent Grimes is not a legend and never was a legend.
He's a top 50 Dolphins player of all time.
Omar, what?
He is.
He's not even a top
50. Yes, he did. He made the top 50 of all time.
He had a really good run when he got here.
He is a top 50 Dolphins player of all time.
He has not played in the NFL in 5 years, and you're telling me that Brent Grimes will save the season. That's what I'm taking issue with.
Well,
Brent Grimes,
who's going to spoil the season? Who's going to spoil the season?
40-year-old. There has to be.
You think
other options
I'm not
available?
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Who at least were in the league last year, or the year before?
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Before there has to be 50 options
No, there's
before.
No.
Brent
There
has to be.
There's the options where there's the guys who are the Nick Perrys of the world, and then there's Brent Grimes, who can get out of his bed and cover an elite receiver pretty effective.
No,
he can dial it up,
can't.
dude.
You can't just not
I'm
be in the
telling
NFL.
you that you can.
But Omar, you can't not play in the NFL. Joe Flacco has played every single season over the past couple
and
years.
he was trash
though.
for like the last 3 seasons, and then he all of a sudden magically became good again.
But that's totally different, though. You're talking about a guy, like, think about what you just said. Hey, he hasn't played in the NFL in 5 years, but he's staying in shape. He's playing tennis.
Yep.
Yeah, Joe Rose plays tennis every day too. Why don't we bring Joe Rose in and have him line
how
up?
ridiculous of an athlete he is because Joe plays him in tennis.
But I am not arguing against the fact that Brent Grimes is still in shape and he's still a ridiculous athlete. I'm arguing against the fact that you think a guy who's 5 years removed from the NFL, who, by the way, in his last couple seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was just okay.
Yeah.
And then
fair.
the way you coined it as well, which is, he stopped playing because he just lost the passion. You know what guys tell you? Yeah, I lost the passion. You know what the reality is? They weren't good anymore. That's the reality.
No, it was a situation where people wanted him, but they weren't going to pay him what he was used to, which is $8 million a year. And if it's less than $8 million, why would I do?
And why weren't they going to pay him the money he wanted? Why?
Because he was old.
Right, and because he wasn't as good anymore.
Sometimes
it's that simple. You weren't as good anymore at the tail end of your career. Injuries had a lot to do with it, even though he overcame them.
Yeah.
So now, with that being said, 5 years removed from that, you think in week 18 he can roll out of bed because he's playing tennis every day and he can come cover Stephon Diggs. And it's just
if it wasn't one of the best athletes that I've ever seen in my lifetime, of watching athletes for over 30 years, I would agree with you. but he's right up there. And the
Allen Iverson is one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen in my entire life. And guess what?
He could get buckets today.
He's not winning you a playoff game.
If you
though.
needed Allen Iverson to get you
8
buckets
points.
one season, like instead of Blake Ahern, you'd be like, all right, let's see what Allen Iverson's got. See, you're missing the part of the art.
Eli Apple's not Blake Ahern.
You're missing,
know, dude. He's been pretty bad.
listen. You're missing the part of the argument where right now you are not a Super Bowl contending team. And the thing that's going to prevent you from being a Super Bowl contending team is you can't cover anybody if it's not Jalen Ramsey. All I'm saying is you're clearly not going to play Cam Smith because your defensive coordinator / the defensive head coach of the team, who basically ignores the head coach, he doesn't like Cam Smith, and he ain't playing Cam Smith.
I don't know what Cam Smith did.
Oh my God, it must be really bad.
Stole his tapioca.
What happened?
Yeah, and literally, your season is in the hands of Eli Apple, Kader Kohu, and Nick Needham.
What about Intangibles wonder Ethan Bonner? Is he going to be active for this one?
Yeah, he's active for this one,
All
but
right. Not getting on the field. Though.
Yeah.
I
he
can't
might get on
believe
field.
the chat is agreeing with you. Also,
what's the harm in exploring
what's
it?
the harm?
What's the
You're
harm in
bringing a guy that's
what's
5
the
years
harm in
removed from the NFL?
Work him out.
To come
Work
play?
him out. Make him run a 40.
Yeah.
He clocks a 4.45.
If you can bring in Ndamukong Suh,
Yeah.
he used to play for the Dolphins
He
at the same
played
time as
last
Brent
year.
Grimes.
He played last year.
Dude,
For like 5 minutes.
He plays a more
cherry picked at the end of the season so he could get a ring.
If Brent Grimes had played the last 4 years and
Okay.
this year he hadn't played, I'd be like, okay, 5 years
Tell me,
removed from the
uh,
NFL.
answer this question. What is the harm in putting him through a workout?
Hey guys, oh yeah, he tailgates at Dolphins games. Let's
so
bring him
with
in.
this. I
Let's
love
bring him
this.
in.
I am just asking you the question.
'Cause
What is the harm?
you're right.
If you're going to bring in every slap, you know what, to come in and do a workout because you
Definitely.
definitely need cornerback help.
Right, guys
'Cause
that have been
you're-
playing.
Guys that have had a cup of coffee,
Okay.
been on everybody's practice squad.
Mhm.
Maybe practice squad guys are now eligible once their seasons are done. Maybe you can upgrade your practice squad roster. Why would you just not take a look if this guy was once an elite cornerback?
Because he's 40 years old and he's
What's it hurt?
5 years removed from the last time he took a snap.
How long did Green play in the NFL? Because he played in his early 40s. I'm telling you, this ain't a position where it's like he got to hit somebody.
Exactly.
He
yeah.
got to hit somebody. And it's also not a
I love
position where he's got to know the defense. Like Brent is on an island.
like I feel like
It's zone or man. He's played 14 years in zone and man. He knows what to do. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Darryl Green played 20 years in the NFL.
Listen to what you're saying. Like, listen to the argument that you said. Yeah, he's in great shape. He tailgates at Dolphins games.
The tailgating is because he actually cares, and he wouldn't come out of retirement for
Cares
anybody
because
else.
he tailgates.
No.
So
He actually cares.
He's doing us a favor.
No, I honestly do believe
like
that he
that.
would
I
be
like that.
considered because he's not interested in playing football.
I
He really
wish.
isn't.
I genuinely.
He doesn't. He's not. He doesn't.
He's not.
Listen,
He's
they've
not
got-
interested. He's not interested in playing football. But
No,
he
no,
had
no,
his
hold
wife. He had his wife,
Solana-
who's a known social media agitator. I don't believe I'm speaking out of term there.
No.
He had his wife post on Instagram.
That's a great job
Hey,
by her.
She's his business manager.
Hey, Brent Grimes is looking for a comeback.
No,
Tags
not
Omar
looking for
Kelly.
not
so
looking
that-
for a comeback.
Hold on.
Not looking for a comeback.
But his wife posts that because he's not looking for a
Hold
comeback.
on.
No,
Let
he's
me-
not looking for
Let me
it.
ask you this.
They don't need a single dollar.
If you
They
cared
don't-
about
they
the
have
Oh,
Dolphins,
he doesn't care.
no. If you cared about the Dolphins and you could help them, if you could cover Stephon Diggs,
Yeah.
you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's just-
that answered
but
the question.
like this, except
Like-
he's Brent Grimes and
like-
you're Solana.
He's not even going to cover Stephon Diggs. He's going to cover Gabriel Davis.
He's fast.
Yeah,
I hope he's been playing a lot.
Brent fast too. Like
track fast. He's not.
Brent
fast,
is
though?
Brent is ridiculously.
Gabe Davis really fast.
I mean,
Yeah, what plays he made?
I
this
thought
season?
Omar was trolling on Twitter, and I'm
dead serious. If I wasn't serious, would I even bring it? Because I was initially like, yeah, this is crazy, but then I thought to myself, season's gonna end because of Eli Apple anyway.
If you
You might as well figure out a solution.
If you go with somebody on the field that just had on the back of his jersey, not Eli Apple, I think I'm for it.
How could you light me up for being a coward to start the show today? Because I'm not
Not a
confident.
coward.
Because I'm confident the Dolphins aren't going to, because of how banged up they are, beat the Bills twice in a row in back-to-back weeks. And then you hitch your wagon to, let's sign a 40-year-old who's 5 years removed from the NFL because his wife posted on Instagram.
Yeah, just give him
give it a workout.
First of
take
all,
a look. See,
did Omar pay you during the break?
You've boxed yourself in because the reason I'm not a coward, I'm an ideas man. I love the idea.
Listen, is Eli Apple going to help you or hurt you right now?
Probably hurt.
He's good. No, Eli Apple's not good. I don't think anybody is disagreeing with that statement.
All right. Find an option. Find an alternative.
I'm with you.
Let's think out the box. Let's be creative about it.
I don't want to think out the box because the box leads me to a 40-year-old who's 5 years removed from the NFL, who, by the way, wasn't very good the last 2 seasons he played.
You're missing the point. This isn't 5 years ago.
Yeah,
he's refreshed and rejuvenated.
The only source material I have to go off of is Omar saying he plays tennis.
I believe in Omar.
I play tennis. You want me out there guarding somebody?
His son's in a tennis academy, so he has to play a lot of tennis.
Does
that help you?
Could you jump out of a pool?
Yeah.
No.
Can you jump out of a pool?
No.
If Brent put up a video of him jumping out of a pool right now, would you be Would you be in?
Brent Grimes, get him into a pool.
I think he's tailgating right now, but I'll get it for you on Monday. If he could
perfect,
jump out of a pool right
perfect.
now and do it on Monday, would you sign him?
I would definitely reconsider this.
Oh, okay.
If he could still jump out of a pool right now,
I promise you he could jump out of a pool.
He doesn't have to jump out of the pool for me as long as he's not Eli Apple.
That's a ridiculous conversation.
And if you don't believe how athletic you have to be to jump out of a pool, go try to jump out of a pool.
I'm not diminishing how athletic that is.
Yeah.
I'm diminishing the idea
shallow end
that the best guy.
Yeah, it has to be the shallow end,
Fair
but
enough.
no stairs though.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The best guy to help your season is a guy 5 years removed from the NFL.
Give me some other options then. I'm open.
Cam Smith.
That's not an option.
We've already said it.
Yeah,
right. Like you've already ruined the game.
But
yeah.
it's
Vic
a better
Fangio
option.
says like that's not an option.
It's a better option.
No, not according to Vic Fangio.
I don't disagree. Maybe if you're saying
Vic Fangio would probably rather play a guy who has no idea what he's actually on defense to call than play Cam Smith.
If you want to get mad at Vic Fangio for not having the second round pick ready for the last week of the season, by all means, have that argument.
Yes.
I'm just trying to have an argument that'll actually get
Vic
somebody else.
Fangio would rather play a stranger.
I genuinely wish that they had signed Brent Grimes. To watch him go out there today and get torched. Just if the Dolphins sign Brent Grimes, I hope they lose 1 million to 0 today. 1 million to 0.
But I thought I convinced you if he jumped out of a pool on Monday, you'd be in.
Omar, there's a better chance that these idiots who believe there was a damn alien at Bayside.
I believe there was a damn alien at Bayside.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
There's
so many people who think it was an alien at Bayside. How could there not be an alien at Bayside?
There's a better
if there
chance.
was an alien, would they tell you?
If there was an alien, would it go to Bayside? No, because I don't.
There
think
are a lot of
Bayside.
weird people at Bayside, brother. Bayside at homes.
Omar, there's a better chance that was a mother bleeping alien than there is at Brent Grimes coming back today and helping the Miami Dolphins guard Stephon Diggs.
We'll take a break here on Game
Gabriel Davis.
We'll take a quick break. Get you updated with the playoff picture in the AFC and the NFC scores going on right now. Back after this.
WQAM broadcasting live from the Ed Moore Sawgrass Auto Mall Studios. Shop massive savings on a massive
All right, welcome back, everybody. Game day, uncensored here, 560 WQAM. Tobin here with you alongside Omar Kelly from alldolphins.com and Solana here from WQAM. There's a lot of fantastic work here. Vlad is producing us here today, and we are taking you up to Sunday Night Football. AFC playoff picture right now, boys. The Jaguars, if you guys are just tuning in, they lost to the Titans.
Bums.
Total bums. They basically left the season on they lost 5 out of 6 to end the year, and their only win was against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, they were 8-3 at one point and just completely yacked on it. So Ryan Tannehill and his Tennessee Titans, which, by the way, I know Trent Green on the broadcast tried to make me all sentimental about, Tannehill's time with the Titans.
Yeah.
No. Not nice try, Trent Green. But that loss by the Jaguars put both the Bills and the Steelers into the playoffs. Now, obviously, tonight's game puts a lot of things in flux because here's how it works. If the Dolphins beat the Bills, rematch the next week in Super Wildcard Week at home. So basically, same game, maybe with Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle.
Right.
If they lose, the Dolphins have to go to Kansas City. That's it. That's where they're going. Going to see Mahomes, Kelsey, and the Swifties. That's what we got. Tyreek Hill revenge game at Arrowhead, which you know that he would be looking forward to, and certainly probably wants revenge after that debacle in Germany where he yacked up the football. And then the last scenario, which is a long shot, but it could happen. If there's a tie, Dolphins Steelers next week. And that would be the matchup because of the tiebreakers between the Bills and the Steelers. They would not have they wouldn't have to go to tiebreakers. So the Steelers would then stay the 7 seed, and the Dolphins would have the Steelers at home next week. Now, there hasn't been a tie in the NFL this year, so not likely, but that's what's out there. Is there a? I mean, are you nervous, Solana, about a potential rematch? Do you want just Kansas City? Like, would you prefer just go? Because the Chiefs have been no first prize, but you have lost to them already this year.
Let me put this out here. All right. I am a coward today. I'll start there.
Yep.
I don't believe the Miami Dolphins can beat the Buffalo Bills back-to-back weeks at home. I just don't believe it because of how banged up they are. And with that being said, if you are a Dolphins fan who would rather lose today to avoid Buffalo 2 weeks in a row, you are a moron. You are a moron.
I thought that was what you're going to say you wanted to do.
And here's why. And here's why. If you lose today, because you'd prefer to play the favorable matchup, despite it being on the road at the Chiefs, which I agree, by the way, that probably is a more favorable matchup for Miami. I
agree with that.
First of all, the weather next week in Kansas City, it's forecasted the low to be -3 degrees. The high is 10 degrees or 6 degrees.
I
or something
respect
like
you
that.
for doing your research.
Okay.
Jesus.
Second of all, if the Dolphins lose today, here is the most likely track for them in the playoffs. At Kansas City, we know, right?
Yep.
If they win, they get Baltimore on the road in round 2.
Awesome.
And if by some miracle, because the aliens have landed in Miami,
They did. Where else are they going to go?
you win that game, the most likely game for you would be at Buffalo. So your track to the Super Bowl would be 3 road games at Kansas City, at Baltimore, and then at Buffalo. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very sorry to report to you, but there is a 0.00000 chance that the Dolphins are going to go to the Super Bowl in that track. It's just not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
Now, again, going back to me being a coward, I don't believe the Dolphins can beat the Buffalo Bills twice at home. But
what?
But that is much, much more favorable than having to play 3 road games against the 3 best teams in the conference in a row. You would get Buffalo at home, round 1. You would get Kansas City, if they win,
at home.
And then the only road game you'd have to play would be at Baltimore.
I get
in the title game.
I get the Dolphin fan being annoyed that the Jaguars weren't able to get. First of all, I don't know if I want to face Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just seems annoying. I get you're facing Mason Rudolph and or
TJ
baby hands. or
TJ
whatever.
Watt is,
TJ
is
Watt
probably
goes-
gonna
I
he's
get
probably
you.
gonna miss the rest of the playoffs. So.
But I don't know, man. Like the idea of you beat a team at home and then you get them again, a team you know very well, and you're going to probably get reinforcements for that game too. I just think I know it's hard to have this feeling because you just got drubbed, right? And so nobody's confidence is sky high right now. Everybody is in the feeling of this Dolphins team needs to show me something. I don't disagree with that sentiment. I think they do have to show you something.
Yeah.
I get you. I'm going into this with they're gonna show me something. That's how I choose to go about this.
And you should go into it feeling that way.
Yeah.
And Tobin, let me ask you a serious question here.
Mhm.
For the people who are saying, no, I'd rather play on the road at Kansas City.
No.
For those people, then your expectations are you want to win one playoff game. Period.
Yeah.
Period. And if those are your expectations,
yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. Like I don't know what team you've been watching, and that's not good enough with this team.
Eventually, they're going to get healthy. So I would ride with your theory and thought process that, okay, as I've said all season, your season's going to have to go through Buffalo.
But Omar, our
yeah.
expectations for this team changed. Like I get it.
And it changed back again.
We're all desperate for a playoff win because it hasn't happened in 23 years. I get it. Bro, I don't remember a playoff win. So, yes, I'm with you. I want one playoff win.
What year were you born?
94.
Okay, yeah.
I was 5 or 6 years old in 2020. If that can't be your expectation when you have an opportunity to lock up the 2 seed and host 2 playoff games.
It's not even like, look, you could tell me that the scenario would be going to Kansas City on the road and you have to face Baltimore at home next week. I don't care. The Dolphins are better at home.
Yeah.
They've been better at home under Mike McDaniel. Tua's good at home in his career. If you just said like what the weather is going to be like in Kansas City, no. This team is the best path to get to the playoffs in spite of the opponent is not the idea of who you take on. It's where you have those games. And if you have those games at Hard Rock Stadium, you're going to have a much better chance of being in the conference championship than you are going out on the road. It's
Absolutely.
the dumbest freaking thing. I swear I kind of got you Dolphin fans who were like, oh, the stupid Jaguars. But it's like, now that you're like, you're that, scared of the Bills that you don't want to face them again, that you'd rather
Terrified.
tank this game. I mean,
Terrified.
come on.
Some are. They just are.
Omar, like, what's the point of even enjoying it? Like, this is what you're supposed to live for as a fan. To swagger in there. I don't care if Josh Allen has had Tua and a baby Bjorn. I don't care. Like this is what you're supposed to live for as a fan. You're supposed to live for these rivalry games, a chance to set yourself up, sit pretty, 2 seed. Because what if Baltimore gets bounced? What if that happens? Football happens. If that you're telling me you have a chance to host the conference championship? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's the stupidest controversy in the history of controversies. Anyway, take a break. Back with more Game Day Uncensored after this.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. Sunday Night Football spotlights a big AFC East showdown with the division.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Game Day Uncensored here, 560 WQAM, getting you ready for Sunday Night Football at Hard Rock Stadium. This is Goosey's, people. I don't care what we feel tonight. This is a high-stakes game, knocking on the door of the playoffs. I am excited for this one. I understand where the Dolphins are at with what last week was. God, the Bradley Chubb thing was brutal, though. Oh, my God. I can't believe that happened. I don't even blame McDaniel because I get it. It's like, how are you supposed to know which guy's going to have his ACL blowout in a blowout? He did the thing that you obviously do, which is take out your quarterback. But, God, that was so – and especially to watch that on Hard Knocks, watching the injuries back.
I skipped Hard Knocks this
Did
week.
you?
I skipped
Worst
it.
episode of the season.
Yeah.
Very revealing, but I would agree with you. Kind of one of the worst episodes of the season.
There's two things that really bother me about Hard Knocks this week, Omar. One, I get Tua wears a camera on his helmet. They did that montage for way too long.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I actually like that because
Did
it was
you?
very revealing to me in terms of what he sees. I realized it showed how quickly he processes things based on where his eyes are and what he needs to see. I love that aspect of it. Yeah,
Felt like filler to me. Could have given me 3 throws, I would have gotten it.
It's pioneering stuff that they're doing.
Well, I did find that interesting why they said they did it. It's auditory, like basically saying, if you guys can't read a playbook, this is what it sounds like. So know what it sounds like in the huddle. That was kind of cool. We did get the first appearance of Fangs.
Yep.
Fangs.
I felt like they felt challenged because everybody said you can't get Fangs, can you?
And they really, I mean, I don't know what Fangs gave him in that interview sitting, but all he was like, hopefully you get a Holland back this week. That was literally the only clip they got from him. Other than miking him up.
They did do a Fangs montage
yes.
of all the Fangs clips that they've had throughout his career.
Yes.
And then tied it into playing Lamar Jackson and
Yeah.
all the athletic quarterbacks that he's had to go against. So it was Fangs was 5 minutes.
Yeah, but like personally getting your sit down with Fangs, they got nothing out of him.
No,
they got nothing out of him.
Yeah.
And then for
Fangs answered like 2 questions with 3-word answers, and then he says, "Are you done yet?"
It was and then the funniest part about it was, I think you guys talked about this with Javon this week because I heard like some listeners tell us about this. The fake dinners where they have to talk football on their house is hilarious. They go, for those who didn't see Hard Knocks this week because you didn't want to relive it like Solana, they go to Javon Holland or Brandon Jones. I don't know whose house it was.
I think it was Javon's.
But they're having dinner.
Yeah.
And they're talking about
it was Brandon Jones. It was Brandon.
They're
Jones.
talking about
Brandon's crib. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, they were talking about Fangs' system, and they're like, "Oh, the system." I'm like, "There's no way in hell they're at dinner talking Fangs."
No, I think they are talking.
No way.
Fangs.
No. Javon told us. Javon was like, it was the most uncomfortable thing we've ever been a part of because we sit there and there's like 30 cameras around us, and they're basically like asking us to talk about certain things, and it just didn't feel natural. But then when the cameras were off, like it was
talk about hoes, like
no, but it was like, remember like early, like the first episode, it was like the linemen were out getting burgers and like, oh, this Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Like,
well, Max Crosby isn't on the menu today. Yeah.
So I was like, that was,
as somebody who's produced some of that reality TV stuff, it's part of the business. It's part of the job.
Well, the one thing with the reality that bothered me, honestly, was the biggest problem I had with the episode. I wanted Tua's reaction after throwing the pick after Sealer got the fumble. And they made it seem like in the episode, Sealer gets the fumble, touchdown drive.
Oh.
And I was like, that is very gracious editing.
Revisionist history.
It made it seem like, oh, it took a couple drives, okay. But like the next play after he gets the pick, I don't get the sidelines reaction to Tua throwing the pick.
We gotta pull in the drama. We gotta, remember this. The actual game scene is only 15 minutes of the scripted reality of 45 minutes. So
I didn't like
you got to stay in there. You got to stay in the moment.
But they did the same thing with the Cowboys, and that was probably the best episode. I've seen them all except for this past week. That was probably the best episode of Hard Knocks that I think I've ever seen. Beating the Cowboys, But they did the same thing where,
You're a
like,
front runner. You only want to see the good stuff.
no, I mean, I watched the Titans one after they lost. Like,
Okay,
I
all right.
but
That was
I
good.
don't want to relive 56-19. What was it? 56-19. I don't want to relive that.
Man, they got their butts whooped, and you got to own it. You got to live in it. What I loved about the locker room.
I don't have.
No,
Omar, that's where you're wrong. I'm not a player.
No,
I'm not a coach.
No. You do radio, and you counsel these people who are South Florida depressed fans. Sorry,
And
take your ownership of this beatdown.
I did,
and
I called Lamar the MVP, and then you know what I did?
Give them the props and
Yeah.
say, hopefully we see you again.
No, you know what I did?
No, you're
I
like,
hope
"No,
we
I
never
wanna
see
see
them
him again." Yeah.
and we're gonna lose the next 2 games.
He's
I
like-
mean, that's how I followed that up.
He's like, please take care of this, Browns. Please, Flacco.
Flacco. People are praying away the Tequesta curse. I'm praying to the Flacco gods that he outduels Lamar Jackson.
Lamar took his job. Oh, wait a minute. Subplot to that game, baby.
Yeah.
Lamar stole his job.
Flacco potentially back in Baltimore.
Flacco back in Baltimore versus the guy who stole his job.
Let's hear from a guy who's got a job right now in Tua Tagovailoa. He says that this offense wants to prove a lot of people wrong this week against Buffalo.
Yeah, I think our guys up front, I think our guys outside, offense and defensively, will be able to handle what the Bills have. I say that because a lot of our guys, we have a lot of guys that have been told they can't, like a lot of guys that can't do this, can't do that. And I think they've heard enough and they want to do something about that.
You don't have to add that in. Like he's already knows that people say that he can't win a big game.
You can't win a big
You
game.
don't have to
Tua.
add that in.
You haven't won a big game. I believe you can, but you haven't won a big game. But I guess I need to say you can't.
I mean, the Cowboys game doesn't count anymore.
It wasn't a big game with the stakes were high, but they aren't
He
as
made
high
the
as they are
playoffs.
now.
I agree with that. So so it just gets eradicated.
Pretty much.
I don't think it gets eradicated,
Seems
Tobin.
unfair.
I just think like at some point you have to be able, if you're a legitimate top 10 quarterback or top 5 quarterback, which I think Tua can be, you have to win these games. Like why is that unfair?
I don't say it's unfair. Like, look, I think that Tua, and I think we should get more into this about like what this will mean for his season and what this overall grade is and all that. But
you do this is your signature win for your career.
For sure.
But to say his win a couple weeks ago against the Cowboys doesn't count. Like they're going to be the 2 seed in the NFC.
It's not that it doesn't count. It's not that win wasn't a great
the best
win.
NFC team he could have beaten this year.
But I chalk that win up with the Baltimore win last week, week 2, where hey, that was effing awesome. That was a core Dolphins memory for the past decade, right?
Yeah.
But if it doesn't result in you being in the best possible position for your playoff likelihood, then I'm sorry, that's not a signature win. Like that's a really fun win and a meaningful win, but these are meaningful games. These are the types of games that decide the outcome of your season, whether you get to host a home playoff game and clinch the 2 seed after having a 3-game division lead over the Buffalo Bills, or you lose and you're the 6th seed, you're on the road at Kansas City and your season's over.
We'll take a break. We'll talk more about it. Tua and what's on the line for him this upcoming. We'll hear from Mike McDaniel as Tua was named to the Pro Bowl this week. Take a break. Game Day Uncensored back after this.
Listening to WQAM for
week. Last Sunday's game was hard to forget, but that's what the Dolphins must do tonight because the AFC East Division title is on the line. The Buffalo Bills have come down from the snowy tundra of Western New York to try and take the title themselves. Tonight is all the makings of an all-time battle at Hard Rock Stadium. But Finn's injuries continue to mount. Key among them, Bradley Chubb. Coach Mike says the Dolphins will have to find a way. They still gotta play the game.
It's a big loss for the team in the locker room just because of the human being that he is and then his play. And it's, one of the things that is a challenge for every single team that's in the league at this stage of the year. So it's something that, it takes a collective mindset from everyone to kind of, with those type of injuries. And in that you have to be worried about the right things, not who's not there, but what can I do in my game better? And that goes across the board.
Tua, also banged up, says regardless, he's ready.
My shoulder's good, brother. It's all good.
How long did it take for those residuals on the thumbs to sort of get out of the way for you?
Everyone has the nicks and bruises at this point of the season. That's not an excuse for me.
And linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel knows the Bills have had the Dolphins' number lately, but
we got a team that's hungry. Obviously, coming off a difficult loss, we're motivated. We know what we're capable of doing, and we got a lot of guys in this room that they want to get that sour taste out of their mouth. And obviously, it's a big game, and we know it's at stake. So we're going to come out in full force.
So here we go. Yet another biggest game of the year for the Dolphins. Time to get ready with Gameday Uncensored, the pregame show for real Miami football fans on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Gameday Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day. Pour me in, coach. Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Make sure your next Cadillac is backed by Morse at Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Proud partner of the Miami Dolphins. By JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. By Kendall Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start the new year in a new ride with no payments for 90 days.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. It is Game Day Uncensored here. 560 WQAM. Tobin here with you alongside Omar Kelly and Alejandro Solana. Getting you ready for Dolphins and Bills Hard Rock Stadium. If you guys are out tailgating right now, getting ready, Brent Grimes, we vouch for you, dude. You should have. We want you out there, but maybe for the play.
We don't.
For the play.
No. Omar and Tobin are the only two that vouch for you, and Miko Grimes, of course.
Because you haven't seen him jump out of a pool yet.
Okay. No, it's ridiculous, dude. Dolphins getting ready. We should get actives probably by the end of this hour. We should figure out who's going to be in, who's going to be out.
I can
early leans on it. Yeah, you want to give us the early leans on it? We know.
Yeah.
What do we got, Omar? Because one guy just told during the break, he was in the chat on our YouTube, which you guys can watch it on YouTube, by the way. Miami 56 WQM. He said, tired of Robert Hunt being out. Stupid hamstring. Shoot it up and get out there.
If you saw Robert Hunt's hamstring and how black and blue it has been for the last month, the size of a grapefruit.
First time he's been hurt in his career, too.
Yes. First time.
Iron Man.
Yes.
Never gets hurt.
Never missed a game until then. I'm sorry. Like, you guys have no heart, no soul. The man rested for a month, was forced to, gets back on the field, exerts his body in an unorthodox way, and basically tears the hamstring. It's black and blue. There's clearly blood from, messed up in the flow area of it. And Dolphin fans are like, suck it up and get out there, brother. And, if he could, he would, but he is back in the lineup. He's going to be starting at right guard. And then you're going to have Rob Hunt starting his probably second game at left guard.
Who's going to be starting? Robert Jones?
Yeah. Rob Jones. Yes.
Rob Jones will be left guard. Eichenberg, my guy.
He's your guy? That's yeah. Your guy. Of course. Yeah. Your guy.
They showed who's the guy off the couch? Jonathan Harrison. They showed him at the end of Hard Knocks. I was like, man, that guy's massive. You can't get him some run.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did show him. Yeah.
just walking off the field.
Oh yeah,
That guy's a moose.
That guy is a big old house.
Wow.
Yeah. I have no idea if he could play.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Can he jump out of a pool?
Nah, he's not that level.
Maybe a question if they win this week, Omar. If they win this week, go just sidle up to Jonathan, ask me, can you jump out of a pool?
Why don't they? Why don't they just have that at the combine? Forget at the NFL combine. Forget like bench pressing.
The lesser athletes would hurt themselves.
True.
Just letting you know.
True.
I mean, think about it. You got to clear the whole ridge of the pool thing. Like, there's risk there. There's risk associated in it.
Definitely.
It's not like he's just like jumping up really close to it. Like he's way back and he's just frog legging it right out the pool, brother.
You think Cheetah can jump out of a pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When I say, I mean, literally 5% of humans can do this.
Probably less. Than
Probably
5%.
less than 5%.
Probably 1%.
5% of athletic humans can do this. Let me correct myself.
Can A-Chan jump out of a pool?
No, not a possibility.
All right.
Why?
Smythe?
Who?
Smythe?
Who?
Intangibles can't do this?
I feel like you have to be small in order to do this. Like you can't be 6'4" jumping out of a pool.
You gotta have a 40-inch vert plus.
Interesting. So no Von Ginkel.
Nah.
His hair weighs him down.
You know what? I'm not even gonna. It's only for the elite athletes. Van Ginkel could do a lot of things. Ethan Bonner, there might be a possibility there. He's one of the fastest players on the team. So
crazy. That's the only thing we seem to know about him. Do you guys think there's any shot Tyreek Hill can break this record tonight?
It's not the only thing you know about him.
Wow.
He's white.
No. And a cornerback, which means he's a dying breed.
He said, do you think there's any shot that Tyreek can get this record tonight?
No.
Absolutely not.
A little 250 for Tyreek?
What Jefferson had today? Like
he had 192 when I looked up, but I'll go see what his final numbers were.
Goodness gracious. I mean, if Jefferson can do 192, Tyreek can do.
CD last week also, right? He had almost 250, I think. He had a ridiculous game. I think he broke a Cowboys record in that game.
Jefferson today, 12 catches, 192 and a TD in their 30-20 loss to the Lions. And they're obviously right now the Lions looking at this.
He's just stat padding. Did Jefferson get a new contract yet? No,
I don't think so.
Oh, so that's stat padding for the contract. So. He was like, I don't care what happens. Give me them yards.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, he's got a stat pad because he got hurt in the middle of the year at one point, and then he had to have Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins. So
yeah, I'm wondering if he got over 1,000.
He let's see. I can bring this up. He did cross 1,000.
All right, look at you.
He did cross 1,000. He did get there.
Get your big daddy check. Get your $30 million a year.
Let us hear from Tua, a little bit more of Tua Tagovailoa in the lead up to this. And this is going to be a big landmark game for Tua because he played the whole season. That was a lot of quarterbacks went down this year. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert.
He's now officially played more games in the NFL than Joe Burrow.
Is that true?
That is correct.
How about that?
Wow.
Here's Tua on that landmark, and if he cares about it or not.
I take a lot of pride in it, but I also take pride in helping our team win. And I look back at some of the losses that we've had. Wish I could have had some plays back. Wish we could have done some things different. I think those things stick in my brain more than where I'm at right now in the season. Things that I could have done better to help our team.
It was a landmark, though. Like, he put a lot of work into that. We all talked about his concussions, and that was such a big sticking point this whole year. So for him to get it done, I think it is a big deal that he was able to keep himself durable all year.
Jiu-jitsu, baby. Solves all your concussion problems.
Disappointed he's not continuing it, got to be honest with you.
I mean, maybe he picks it up in the offseason. He really feels like he's learned what he needs to learn.
You never stop learning in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
That's how it works.
All right, I agree with you.
Just I'm looking up Burrow career stats, Tua career stats.
Not even close.
52 games to 52 games. Tua will break it today, so Omar's right.
Mm-hmm.
This is effing crazy, though. Joe Burrow career sacks, 148.
Jeez.
Tua, 90.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been running for his life his whole career.
It's crazy, man.
It was like a famous...
or he doesn't have a quick release and pocket presence like Tua does. Carry on.
I mean, Tua was the hotter prospect. It's just he won the championship his last year and then broke his hip.
Yeah, but Burrow was probably going to be picked ahead of him.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nah. Nah.
Burrow had an amazing team, and that was an amazing run. I'm not saying, and look, he got to a Super Bowl, like, good for him.
Joe Burrow had that moxie.
Tua's got moxie.
He does.
He's got moxie, dude.
It's kind of a dim light that just flickers every once in a while to let you know that, hey, we're still on, but we're not lighting up the room. We got to see that light up the room.
I would like to see it light up the room too, and I get it. You guys want to see like this. It's like the intro said, another biggest game of the season. Like I get it. This is the big one for him. It probably will skew how you feel about his season because like you come into a year, your quarterback who people had questions about going into what's essentially a contract year for him. It's like leads the league in passing, played every game, team won 11 games at least. You're usually going to be pretty happy with that. But with him, like, I get it. He just lives up to a different standard. People want to grade him on a different level than everybody else.
The standard is the Super Bowl for Tua, and anything short of that is a failure. And I respect that, like it, appreciate it. But for your team to make it to the Super Bowl, you got to turn up that volume on your play, my brother. And, I was having this conversation with a guy that I talked to about the game. And he basically said something that I had never really thought about, and that is that Tua is a very efficient and effective quarterback when his weaponry is delivering, when his offensive line is protecting, and when he's got upper echelon coaches. But he's not going to exceed and elevate any of those units.
They're calling him a system quarterback.
Oh, no, don't do that.
I'm not telling you that's what I'm calling him. I'm saying that the person you're alluding to
as good. No, the person I'm alluding to is a huge fan. As good his system, he will maximize what you have. Now, is he going to maximize Cedric Wilson and River Craycraft and Chase Claypool and Rob Jones and Liam Eichenberg? I don't know.
Yeah, but one would say the fact that he can get the ball out that quickly, like have we noticed those guys probably as much as we would have this year if it wasn't for Tua?
No, you're
right. And look, Patrick Mahomes is awesome. I'm not here to slander Mahomes. Tyreek Hill's best seasons are with Tua. Statistically, they are. Jalen Waddle, rookie record with Tua.
That's because Tyreek was only the primary weapon for Patrick Mahomes for one of his seasons with Patrick Mahomes.
That's a Patrick Mahomes decision. That's not Tua's problem. It's not Tua's problem.
It's also a reason why he wanted to get out of Kansas City, right? He said it. I was tired of being the second option. I wanted to be the primary option.
He was tired of being Chris Bosh.
And he came to Miami and became LeBron. He did.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, kudos to Tyreek for knowing he could be better than what was already, a Hall of Fame career.
Do you worry at all what happened to him this week? Because Tyreek Hill had a terrible thing happen at his house where there's a fire. He has to leave practice. Apparently, investigators are saying the fire was caused by a kid with a lighter, which I imagine as a dad has to freak you the hell out. Are we worried at all? Like this takes away from, because I know he said last week, he's like, worst game of my career against Baltimore. You obviously know this guy is the best of the best at his craft, but like, man, that's a huge, so you got to leave your house. You're worried about your kid nearly, getting burned or burning the house down. I can't even imagine having to deal with all that going into a high stakes game like this, where obviously you still want to put up a big performance as well.
They actually gave him the day off Thursday. He left practice early on Wednesday, gave him the day off Thursday, and showed up back on Friday. I don't have a doubt that Tyreek is going to be focused, locked in, committed. He was embarrassed from last week, and he's going to want to redeem himself. Now, is he distracted by the fact that a portion of his mega $1 million mansion has been burned and his house probably smells like he's barbecuing inside?
There's a hole in the roof.
Yeah, holes in the roof happen. I'm sure.
They do?
What?
By the way, did Rick Ross live stream this?
And,
yes,
and was wrong about it too.
He said electrical fire.
Yeah, he live streamed it, and he's like, "Yeah, it seems like an electrical fire."
He was speculating. He's no different than the firefighters.
It didn't sound like he was speculating.
I thought it could have been electrical fire because it's like the roof of a top story house.
Right.
It's not like the kitchen burned it down.
But he wasn't in there. He was standing 100 yards away from the house, live streaming.
He was in his neighbor's home. It was live streaming Tyreek's fire.
If you're gonna be like a pseudo fire marshal, like you're gonna roll the dice and be like, what sounds fire marshally? Electrical fire.
Yeah. I totally bought the electrical fire. Now that I know it's a kid with a match with lighters in the house playing around.
Crazy.
A little bit of judgment there.
I just to answer your question though, Tobin,
that kid's got a Zippo. You think it was like a grill lighter? You think it was a match?
It's got to be a grill lighter.
Got to be a grill lighter. Right?
I think that's the because one of those little bics. Those things are hard for a kid to operate.
Oh, for
if
sure.
it's a Zippo though, that flame can keep going, or a blowtorch one. Now I don't know if it's just so that's usually like a cigar smoking thing. I don't know. I don't know if Tyreek smokes cigars. I don't know if he's into that.
I don't think so. You're not going to speculate on the other thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nope. Why not?
Well, I mean, it's not my
Nowadays.
business.
No. I mean, nowadays, like whatever.
I mean,
I don't know if he does or not. I'm just saying in general, like everybody smokes weed.
yeah, that's legal now in the NFL. So
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, if you want
it's
to toke up instead of taking
decriminalized.
opioids,
Use a blowtorch one if you're smoking weed.
No.
I don't know.
No, you don't.
Vlad, well, would you like to weigh in on this?
I'm a gummies guy, Vlad. So,
but to answer your question, Tobin, does this distract him? I mean, I'm sure all week. I mean, that's been a burden on him. There's no doubt. But you're telling me Tyreek Hill is lacing up for a game that everybody in the NFL is watching.
What did he tweet out? Yeah, because this is prime time, baby.
Yeah, there's no way.
They say this is the game of the week.
There's no way he's distracted.
You are the last NFL game.
He tweeted out, and this is Goosey's. Everything you got tonight.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Take a quick break here on Game Day Uncensored. Back after this.
WQAM broadcasting live from the Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall studio.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Game Day Uncensored here on 560 WQAM. Tobin here with you alongside Omar Kelly from alldolphins.com and Alejandro Solana. You feel less cowardly today. I feel like we've gotten that out of you. I feel like you've gotten more courage. Do you want to tell Bills Mafia to go bleep off?
Oh, I hate Bills Mafia.
I hate them too.
I told you, like, I have family, live in Rochester, New York, and they're all massive Bills fans. Not talking to them. You think I'm talking to them this week?
Nothing makes me happier than seeing Bills Mafia jump through a table, but something goes awry. Like,
oh yeah, I saw somebody get lit on fire last week, and I was just like, yeah, I loved it.
I will watch that.
Why would you jump on a table that's on fire? Why does the table need?
I don't know. You would think it's enough of a stunt.
To jump through
the table.
To jump through the table. Why does the table have to be on fire? Next, are we going to pour tax on the table too? Like what is
ECW?
This? I don't understand the thought process.
Oh my god, they are a bunch of dummies. Anyway, let's get to our fantasy watch, brought to us by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day. Pour me in, coach. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly. I don't know how many people have fantasy this week, Solana.
Heard you took an L, Solana.
I did, Omar. The need for you to bring it up again, to rehash it. Most leagues are done by now. There are a few leagues who do like 2-week championships. So last week and this week's scores calculated together.
Okay.
But most leagues are done by now. So if you won your league, congratulations. I will begrudgingly give a congratulations to Hollywood from the morning show.
He wants his check.
But here's the thing: I paid him his check, but he's ripping me on the radio every day. I sent him the money already.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring this up. What day did you send this?
I sent it on. I sent it on Wednesday. Yeah, I Zelled it on Wednesday. I didn't send it on Tuesday because I hadn't even checked who won because Monday was New Year's Day.
Yeah,
I was hungover on Tuesday. I'm getting DMs on like Thursday. Oh, you didn't pay Hollywood. No, I sent the money on Wednesday. What are you talking about?
Oh man,
I will write your name tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Instead of fantasy, you want to go over some props? You want some anytime touchdowns? I got listed so far. How do you feel about this? Eli Apple anytime touchdown plus 4,000.
I'm gonna go no. Save your money.
Let's see. Chris Brooks plus 3,000.
No.
Anytime touchdown.
No.
Late touch.
No.
Let's see. We got Robbie Chosen plus 750.
I like that. I think he's still going to be playing because he's a spacer and he needs to space the field. If Tua is going to be aggressive and he's in a shootout, he's going to go with Robbie Chosen. So that's not a bad. I'd go Chosen over Chase Claypool.
Well, you know what I kind of like because I feel like Tua's been going to him more.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here comes the Durham Smite,
but I'm going first touchdown.
Oh,
plus 1,750. Oh, I like that.
You know,
anytime touchdown for him is 3-1 if you want that.
I like Julian Hill for a touchdown. I don't know what you're
why.
Why? Because I get to watch practice. Okay,
that's
why.
Here's my favorite part of this week listening to Tobin and Leroy, where Tobin's talking about Julian Hill and Leroy goes, I don't even know who that is. And I'm like, and then Omar is like, I like Julian Hill anytime touchdown.
Yeah,
Julian Hill plus 750 for anytime touchdown today.
Okay.
Plus, let's see, multiple touchdown game. Cedric Wilson plus 1,750.
Nah.
Jeff Wilson plus 2,000 for 2 touchdowns.
How do you feel this game is going to go from the sense of, low scoring? Because the over under is what, 48.5? Is that still 48.5? It was yesterday. It's at 48.
It's 48.
Yeah. So I look at that and I say way under. Like, I think this is a 17-13, 20-17 game. I really do believe.
Really?
I don't.
It's that kind of game.
I don't.
And then Joe Rose on Thursday or Friday going with Hollywood, they were going over the lines and he's like, 48.5? That's easy, way over. And I'm like, man, really?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
I think the
there?
winner puts up 24 points. I think Josh Burrow is going to be aggressive and has always been aggressive. I don't think
Josh Allen.
You missed 2 bums.
One's not a bum. One's your daddy, and he pays child support.
My dads can still be bums. He can be a deadbeat dad.
That's true.
You know,
but
does he pay child support? We don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe he just like gives you a good Christmas present every once in a while. He shows up.
I think he put him on court order. Listen, he shows up and he shows out here.
Josh Allen goes to two. He goes, "Hey there, sport."
Yeah.
But he's like,
messes up his hair. Yeah.
Cracks a beer open really irresponsibly.
Why don't you go give me a smoke, son? Josh Allen puts up way too many points.
But they haven't. They haven't.
No, I'm saying against Dolphins.
Okay. All right.
Dolphin. Remember, he's coming in here ultra confident about this game just because he lights Miami up all the time.
Not only that, let's be real. The Dolphins are trending downward.
Yeah.
They're trending downward just based on injury.
Yeah.
And the fact that they got beat 56-19 last week.
Anybody was going to get beat 56-19. Anybody in the NFL.
I'm just saying they're certainly not trending upwards, right?
Okay.
You would agree with that. The Dolphins are not trending upwards.
But they always respond. They rally back.
But just right now, approaching this game, entering this game.
Okay.
The trajectories of these teams over the past 3+ weeks are very different. Bills have their best stretch of the season coming into this game.
Okay. 4 games in a row.
Dolphins are certainly not having their best stretch of the season. And the Bills are getting 100% healthy entering this game. They are 100% healthy. And the Miami Dolphins are anything but 100% healthy.
I mean,
he should be extremely confident coming into this game.
They have been in tickle fights, though, with the Patriots and Easton Stick.
Agreed. Which is why, Tobin, I am not afraid of Buffalo 2 weeks in a row because of Buffalo. Like, I can't stress that enough.
As long as I don't got a Buffalo. As long as you don't have to go to Buffalo.
Right.
I'm afraid because the Dolphins are banged up.
Some Dolphin fans want to voluntarily go to Kansas City. I can't stress enough how stupid they are.
Dumb bums, man. You're so dumb. I'd rather let's tank today so we can be on the road
in Buffalo.
Arrowhead.
Yeah.
At Arrowhead, and then if we did win that game, on the road at Baltimore.
Yeah, could I Joe Flacco my way possibly to having the path of the championship coming through my city, or can I be afraid of Buffalo for 2 weeks in a row? Like, don't watch today. Then you go watch like NCIS if you're that afraid of watching the game today.
NCS Miami, New York, or LA.
I don't know what's the best version.
I don't know.
Is that the one with LL Cool J?
One of them is.
I was never a big NCIS guy.
Nah,
so,
me neither.
Anyway, so I need to settle on a bet here, boys. What am I going with? Because I don't have Craycraft on the board.
I'm telling you, the Julian
Hill.
I'm telling you, put some on Julian Hill.
I'll put some on Julian Hill.
That is just the worst.
I didn't say put a lot.
What do you mean? Why is it the one? You know, like the tight. I do want to ask you this, Omar. The tight end, he has involved Durham Smythe more. That's definitely been a noticeable thing. Is that like Smythe getting the offense more? Is he just believe in him more? Like, what do you think that is with him going to Durham Smythe more?
You know, Durham Smythe is the third leading receiver on the team.
Yeah, but it's been noticeable even more. Like, I would say that the last month he's been going to him.
Teams
more.
are leaving the.
I'm eyeballing this. I don't know what the stats are.
Teams are leaving the middle of the field open for the Dolphins the last couple of opponents, and Mike McDaniel has in game altered his approach to go and attack it. And really, that's where you see Tyreek catch the ball and sit down, because clearly you don't want Tyreek to take a whopper of a hit. And I think Durham is the big enough target, so they're putting him in the middle of the field as well. They're leaving the middle of the field for Tua, taking everything else away. Now, the Bills can come with a totally different approach, but based on how they played them the first time, where they basically had pressure, effective pressure, just rushing for cloud coverage over Tyreek, and then left you everything underneath, that's pretty much going to be their approach as well. So you're going to see a good game for these tight ends.
I just can't imagine that in a must-win, let's be real, this is your first playoff game, you're relying on a Julian Hill package to get into the end zone. I'm sorry, I don't.
The opponent's not going to expect it.
I don't see that. By the way, speaking of the over/under, Dolphins, Bills, 48. It's set at right now. And if you want the over, -110. If you want the under, -110. There is a boost on the Hard Rock Bet app right now. 50 or more total points in this game at +135. So if you really believe this is going to blow way over the over, 50 or more points at +135.
50 is that line that just makes me want to consider whether I should bet it or not. If you put it at 48, I'll be like, I'm in.
Okay, I mean, you could take it at 48, but the odds are -110. If you think it's 50, you get much better odds at +135. And I would also like to point out that the Dolphins open this week as 3.5-point underdogs. and the line has moved to Dolphins 2.5-point underdogs, despite all the injuries and despite the fact that Buffalo is 100% healthy and Josh Allen will play today. That interests me.
And don't forget Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert have been ruled out.
Correct. That really interests me, right, Tobin? Because outside of South Florida, why should anybody believe the Miami Dolphins are going to win this game?
The Dolphins are great for betting.
I mean, it's
Dolphins
been
are big.
and it's been one of these things where like everybody's seen Josh Allen's record against the Dolphins. Dolphins just got drubbed. Bills have won 4 in a row. Like it has the recipe for, but why it's moved, I think, because I think people, if you really take a step back and you're like, all right, but have the Bills been impressive? Like they've won, but like
have they been impressive?
Have they been impressive? It's like,
but don't
look. They've had to arm wrestle down the Patriots and the Chargers the last couple of weeks. Like it's credit to them. They won. Like good for them. I'm just saying, like it's not like they're going out here and they're throttling teams.
But what are the narratives nationally? I'm talking nationally, right? The casual bettor outside of being a diehard Dolphins fan. The narrative against the Dolphins is what? They can't beat good teams, right? And they're banged up right now.
Yes.
So why wouldn't all the action be on Buffalo?
Because
it is home.
Because the Dolphins have had a ridiculous amount of success at home, and the hope is that crowd is a factor for the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if it will be, considering. Don't underestimate Dolphin fans. Listen, the one thing I will say about Hard Rock Stadium is that place is magical at night.
No, I was saying like it's not going to be a factor for any Bills fans that are going to be there. It's not going to be a factor. Like that's the one thing. Like Dolphin fans and this building, this is going to be a place where people get the vacation in to come see their team play. It's nothing the Dolphin fan isn't. The Dolphins aren't used to, and the fans aren't used to. You're going to have bastard road fans come in here. Just is what it is down here. But that I don't feel like the Bills fans going to overwhelm the Dolphin fan. I think that 53%. What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah. I would need to verify whoever created that 53%.
Have you seen the ticket prices to get into this game today?
No.
It's ridiculous. It like $800 a ticket to sit in nosebleeds.
I'm sure there are Dolphin fans
who are
like
Dallas?
Huh?
Worse than Dallas?
Way worse.
What?
Yeah. When we were sitting here, you could get into that game, that Dallas game, when we were sitting here a couple hours before, before fees on the Ticketmaster app, you could find nosebleeds for $350, $400. I was checking this morning, like resale market starts at $500-$600.
That's what ASF Championship game looks like.
We'll take a quick break here on Gameday Uncensored. Back with more after this.
Gameday Uncensored on AM 560 Sports, WQAM. QAM. FM 99.9 HD2 and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Game Day Uncensored here, 560 WQM, streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Miami 560 WQAM is the channel. Going on right now, we have the 4 o'clock window. Bears and Packers right now. Packers trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're up 17-9. Justin Fields was out briefly, but he is back. He's back. But
he's a soldier.
They're about to punt with about 6 minutes left. Probably the story right now, the biggest thing was the NFC East championship was on the line. Cowboys and Eagles. The Cowboys are up 35-10, so they look like they're about to lock up the 2 seed. The Eagles today thumped by the Giants 24-3. So they've pulled everybody. They've pulled their starters. They've pulled their chance at trying to get this one. The Eagles, man, their second half swoon has definitely been something to behold as well. They have not been impressive. This is it's going to be 4 out of 5 losses for them.
I think more. I think
5 out of 6.
Yeah.
5 out of 6 losses for them. Jeez. Last team, they beat the Giants a couple weeks ago, but before that,
they started 10-1, and I mean, since then they've been atrocious. Man.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you put Matt Patricia in charge, dude. It's tough. The Chiefs right now, they're winning a rock fight with the Chargers. They have Blaine Gabbert at quarterback today, so they're not trying. They're already solidified 3 spot. They could welcome in the Dolphins if the Dolphins lose today. That could be the Dolphins' next week opponent, and a rematch from the old German showdown. And what else we got? We got the 49ers. They're up on the Rams right now, 20-13. I think the only thing Rams were going for that one was Puka Nacua was going after Jalen Waddle's record.
Yeah.
Did he get it?
Right now he has
4 catches. I think he got it. He got it by a catch. I think they pulled him because I think he needed 4 to break it. Oh, well. Do it 3 seasons straight, Puka. You want to impress me. Jalen Waddle, of course, bummer that he's not going to be out there today. I thought he was going to be back, baby. I'm so bummed. Love that Waddle dance. Lost a bet to Garfinkel, eh?
Yeah. On the has to wear Michigan garb. So.
I didn't know that Garfinkel was a Michigan guy.
Oh yeah, that whole clan.
That whole clan.
The whole clan.
The whole clan. Ross, Garfinkel, Horde,
Brady. You know,
the whole lot of them. They're all going to Texas tomorrow.
Bigger loss today? Is it Waddle or Mostert?
Mostert.
Waddle.
Changed my tune.
Because A-Chan. Awesome.
Yeah, he has, but Mostert's the leader in NFL touchdowns, tied for the league.
That's cool.
I mean, the disrespect from Tobin.
It's not fair, dude.
I mean, I did change my vote as well. I did change my vote as well because Waddle's Waddle, and it's just a bunch of guys that replace Waddle. Yeah. Whereas Achane is really good. Yeah,
but he hasn't been.
But I would like Mostert and Achane.
Oh, I would too.
That makes it kind of dynamic.
I think today you have to run the ball against Buffalo, and to me, the bigger loss is Mostert. By far.
I don't know, man.
If Achane lights it up and it's not.
But, you've seen Devon. Did you tell me Devon Achane had turf toe?
Yes, he still has turf toe.
He had 100 yards with turf toe?
Yes, he still has turf toe, still wears a boot early in the week. Yeah, no.
I guess it's good to be young because that's incredible.
Yeah.
How about
107 yards of turf toe?
You bring up wearing a boot, and we talked about Tyreek Hill's house catching fire.
Yeah.
About the scene of him showing up to his house and he's wearing a boot.
And the fans are just on fire about Tyreek wearing a boot. What they don't understand is that a lot of guys, like Alec Ingold, has been in a boot for 2 months. Nobody cares because, it's Alec Ingold and they're just dealing with precaution. When you've got something like a turf toe or ankle, you wear a boot when you're not practicing and you just get used to walking around it. It takes stress off the injury and helps the healing process. So Tyreek has been playing on a high ankle sprain. I know they won't say it's a high ankle sprain, but it's clearly a high ankle sprain. He missed 1 week. Everybody else who's playing on a high ankle sprain cannot play on a high ankle sprain.
Why?
Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert. So,
but why is that?
Because they're not the cheetah. Cheetahs don't get hurt.
Cheetahs don't stay hurt. Cheetahs don't get hurt.
Yep.
He tells his body like Mark Jackson said, tell your body not now.
And the funny thing is, and I love Mike McDaniel in a press conference. I don't know what the question he was asked, but he was basically like, yeah, Tyreek is playing a different game than he's used to, but everybody knows he's soldiering through. And that's the truth. Tyreek can't cut like he used to.
Yeah.
You're not watching Tyreek stop on a dime and turn back and come back for a 15-yard comeback. Like, that's not what he's running right now.
It's just even just having him back there, the angst that he caused when he does that, crouching cheetah stuff in the back, right? Like, you see defenses freak out. Like, there's just value in having him out. Obviously, he's still the number one guy you're going to go to. But, dude, what he was doing before this injury was insane. It was he looked like he was going to break that record. He looked like he was going to break that record.
Yeah, you'd have to stay healthy for 17 games to do it. And unfortunately, the injury bug got him.
Yeah, it's a huge bummer. It is. But I think Waddle, just because, dude, the drop-off, we've seen it. And I get it. Raheem Mostert, record, amazing. Probably the most unsung record of all time, right? Like, you have the Dolphins touchdown record. Zonk, the Marx brothers, Ricky. No, Raheem Mostert has it. And it kind of was like, nice for Mostert. It wasn't like greatly celebrated, maybe by Alec Ingold, who went and chased down the ball. But Waddle, he's like, it just, you got to have that other guy that kind of puts the fear in it. And the other guy they have is like, Chase Claypool, like he's dropping touchdowns in the end zone.
Cedric Wilson, man.
Robbie Chosen.
Cedric Wilson's done a nice job.
Stop it with Robbie Chosen.
He's got to be out there, brother. I'm telling you.
Robbie Chosen. Cedric Wilson is
changes.
Clearly your guy. I mean, can we stop it with Clay Claypool and Robbie Chosen? I mean, come on.
Listen, Robbie Chosen is important because he's a spacer. He spaces the field for everybody else. It's a very important element of what you do. Nobody's hanging deep with Cedric Wilson. Like, oh, Cedric Wilson's running behind me. All right, I ain't worried about it. Safety got it. You better start trailing. You see Robbie Chosen.
Yeah, Cedric Wilson is playing on the idea of we had no expectation for Cedric Wilson, and he's been nice, showing up every once in a while.
He's a pleasant surprise because he's now earning his $5 million.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
As opposed to robbing you last year.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And but I didn't care because they had the cheetah, and who cares?
Yeah, that logic always never made any sense to me. I would show up for training camp, and they're like, "Well, we don't have any role for Cedric Wilson because we just surprisingly got Tyreek Hill." I'm like, you paid him $7 million a year. You gave him a real good contract. You don't think he could be something on this team? And they're like, nope, punt return. Like, oh, okay. But it just goes to show you it takes a while for guys to learn this offense, learn the language and terminology, and Cedric's finally delivering in his second season.
We'll take a quick break here on Game Day Uncensored. Should have the actives and actives here and get the official word on who is good to go.
And I just saw something from Hard Rock Stadium that a Bills fan did at Hard Rock Stadium that it just drove me absolutely nuts. Like, I'm just sick of Bills fans. I'll show you in the next segment.
All right, we'll take a break. Be back with more after this.
Text WQAM on the Kendall Toyota
Dolphins. Time to get ready with Game Day Uncensored, the pregame show for real Miami football fans on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Game Day Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on Game Day. Pour me in, Coach. Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Make sure your next Cadillac is backed by Morse at Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Proud partner of the Miami Dolphins. By JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. By Kendall Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start the new year in a new ride with no payments for 90 days.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It's Game Day Uncensored here. 560 WQAM. Tobin here with you alongside Omar Kelly from alldolphins.com. Alejandro Solana. We're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560 WQAM. Appreciate everybody who's watching us and commenting, except for the bastards. They can go to hell. Before we get to actives,
and you know who you are.
You know who you are.
And I'm from Carroll City, by the way.
Before we get to actives here, what was the thing, Solana, that a member of Bill's Mafia did that pissed you off? Like during the you said going into last break. What is upset you? Oh my God!
Hold on.
Will Manso. Check out the. I screenshotted the tweet. Will Manso. Local 10 is at the stadium, and he posted a picture. He says, well, the Bills won something tonight. She said yes. A member of Bills Mafia, 2 members of Bills Mafia.
On the field?
On the field somehow at Hard Rock Stadium, hours before game. He's proposing in cargo shorts to a girl.
You tell me I can't propose in cargo shorts?
Two Bills fans, both wearing Bills jerseys, are allowed on the field before the matchup of the decade between these two teams in Miami?
All it takes is money, brother.
All it takes is money. But why would? But I am with them. Like,
why would you want to do it here if you're a Bills fan?
Why not do it at like Niagara Falls, where all Bills fans go?
I don't know. Hey, I don't know. She wanted to do it in Miami. I mean, I don't know.
So do what all the other losers from New York do. You overpay for a table at Live, and you do it at Live.
Sparklers.
Why would I want a proposal at Live?
Or you do it at the Versace Mansion like all the other tourists do. Like, what the hell are you doing at Hard Rock Stadium on our field? You're getting down on one knee? Who the hell approved that? I want to know. I want names.
Well, you may not know. Like, they may have just had field passes, and he goes, guess what, honey?
This is where I'm going to do it.
Also, in general, stadium proposals, come on, let's do better. Let's do better. But
do better, fellas.
Listen, man, my livelihood is based off of sports. So I love sports. I love everything that
it's a big connector for some people. I know a lot of people
Tobin.
shun this, but a lot of couples do love sports. Like,
do you know I've never dated a woman who likes sports ever?
Good. Me neither.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining because honestly, especially when I do radio, the last thing I want to do is come home after talking about a game for 4 hours and then have a conversation with you about it.
My wife literally just asked me, when are you coming home? Like, the game, like I'm doing the pregame. The game starts at 8:20. Like, nothing about sports. Nothing about sports.
I can't think of a worse way to get proposed to if I was a female than a guy wearing cargo shorts.
But she's got to be. What if she's
at
into
a
sports?
Stadium.
Well, I thought you were.
What if
she's
into sports?
I could imagine being married to a Bills fan. I thought that was going to be your take.
I mean,
if you're a Bills fan, I think it reasonable. I think it's
what do we have for dinner tonight, honey? Buffalo wings every night.
Anchor Bar.
They're not even that great in Buffalo. Okay.
Nah, that's not true. I had some. I went to Anchor Bar, the home of the Buffalo.
I'm sure
Wings.
I've been at Anchor Bar. It's all exactly. It's
but there are good places in Buffalo to get buffalo wings.
I'm sure they're good, but like, are they better than any other place?
No. Sports
Row, like New York.
I will say this: they're a little bit bigger than you're used to here in Miami.
Stop.
Just a tad.
I mean, it's the same thing as the Philly cheesesteak. Go to Flanagan's. You get a better Philly cheesesteak at Flanagan's than you do in the city of Philadelphia.
Man,
I kind of agree.
Let's get to actives and actives here. Brought to us by JM Lexus. When it comes to loyal fans, it's JM Lexus with a 4.8 Google rating at over 13,000 reviews. JM Lexus, West Sample Road in Margate.
Man, I hope the Dolphins win tonight. Please ruin that couple's marriage. Please.
Oh, the odds are against their
Ruin
marriage
that
anyway.
couple's engagement, please, Tua.
You know what? Tua's so nice. You probably send him a wedding present. He'd be like, "Here you go. Here's a game ball. Kicked your ass. Love Tua." Anyway, inactive for the Dolphins. No surprises with the top 3 on their list. They go in numeric order anyway. Jalen Waddle, inactive officially. Xavier Howard, inactive officially. Any shot, Omar, is he Dunsky? Like, can he come back for the playoffs?
No. Mm-mm.
What's wrong with him? Plantar fasciitis? Foot ligament? Something? He's got the gogi foot?
What you say? He's got gout? No. No.
So he's done. Like, even if they go deep.
If they go deep.
If they
maybe.
go deep, he can come back. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But like probably the first.
Yeah.
Even if they get to the divisional round, probably not.
No. Yeah. I mean, divisional round is how many weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Not including this one, obviously.
We'll see. Not
So you're saying
next week. Nah.
Most likely a minimum of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Raheem Mostert, we knew that he's out. This is interesting. Intangibles wonder himself. The Flash, Ethan Bonner.
They
inactive.
They elevated him and then made him inactive, which means that they were on the fence about a specific player in their secondary. And I believe that player would be Javon Holland, who was downgraded yesterday to questionable. Now, the fact that Javon Holland is playing, that's admirable. Let's just hope he plays a cleaner game than he played last week. And I'm very curious about what his role could be, because there are only 2 players that I think have the capabilities, talent, and intelligence to spy Josh Allen. And those players would be Jerome Baker, who's coming back from IR. This is going to be his first game back. And then Javon Holland, who's in his second week back, coming back from IR. Those are literally the only 2 players that have what it takes to spy Josh Allen. Now, the question is, do they do that? Because you got some really tough matchups against the Bills. Now, you got to spy Josh Allen, and then you got to shadow Stephon Diggs. Okay, well, that requires a defender for each of those individuals. Who else is out there to cover the rest of the team?
Eli Apple.
Should be Brent Grimes.
Your other inactives, Keon Smith.
That's a little surprising to me, because Keon was a very versatile interior player, a very versatile swingman, interior and then a tackle. But obviously with Kendall Lamb in the mix, they don't have to worry about the tackle situation. And then with Rob Hunt coming back, they kept Lester Cotton and Rob Jones active. So I get it. I understand. But tough break for the kid.
And then Tyler Croft, who feels like he's on an active list every week.
Yeah, that's Brent Grimes' roster spot.
You got a spot, Tyler.
Yeah.
Enough already. So there you go. That's the active. Those are the inactives for your Miami Dolphins. Rob Hunt's coming back this week. That's great news. Jerome Baker.
Yeah.
He's coming back. That's good news. Both of them out since the Washington
in his second
game.
week. Javon's in his second week back. Hopefully he plays better than he did the first week.
Yep.
You had a number of injuries. Austin Jackson's going to be playing his second week with that oblique injury. He should be fine. Him and Rob Hunt together, man. Maybe Achan can what's a prop on the 2 touchdowns for Achan?
Let me look. All right. Prop on 2 touchdowns for Achan.
Yeah.
According to the Hard Rocker.
That's kind of going to be a interesting
2
little
touchdowns, Omar?
Yeah, 2.
Plus 325. 3 touchdowns plus 1300.
That's a little aggressive.
How about this? How about this boost? Tyreek Hill, Devon Achane, Stephon Diggs, or James Cook record the first touchdown in this game tonight. Plus 125.
Hold on. Give me the names again.
Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
Devon Achane.
Okay.
Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
James Cook.
One
of those 4 has to score the first touchdown of the game.
If they threw in Josh Allen in there, I would absolutely take it.
I'm taking it.
It's Josh Allen's going to score.
I'm putting the mortgage on it.
Okay.
Josh Allen first touchdown plus 500.
Good money for me.
Devon Achane first touchdown plus 450.
450. That's good money too.
Reek plus 600.
Yeah.
Cedric Wilson last week's first touchdown catcher plus 1300.
I knew he was going to be a 1,000. Nah, can't. I don't know about. I don't know.
Something. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Big betting right there.
It is big betting.
I don't like I always wonder with the people who bet, like, do you walk away positive or negative? No, you just keep putting out these flyers out there for living
I
these
love
dreams.
flyers. I love flyers, dude.
It's like one day one of these flyers is gonna make you rich, huh?
I bet Jaime Jaquez double every game this week. I've only won one time, but it was worth it. Like, and I just was looking the other day, and I'm like, he's got no shot.
Did you make your money back though?
I'm still up, but
You're still up.
I'm draining a little bit. Like I only got a couple left, so he needs to hit me for this Rockets game coming up. Or I'm hoping big time the showdown is Wednesday when he takes on that freakazoid on the OKC Thunder, old Chet Holmgren, little Rookie of the Year showdown. But for right now, that's another story for another day. Anyway, we'll take a quick break here on Game Day Uncensored. Back with more after this.
WQAM broadcasting live from the Ed Moore
Game Day Uncensored here on 560 WQAM. Getting you ready for Dolphins and Bills Sunday Night Football. You got the goosies, Omar?
Visitation with your daddy.
I don't like that. Don't say that.
It's the reality.
I'll
It's the truth.
bring over Grandpa Zonk. Grandpa Zonk's he's gonna still out. I still take Zonk in a fight over Josh Allen. I saw Zonk this week. I'd be like, he win. Look at those forearms. And if not, he gets a tag team partner, Kim Bocamper.
Bo does have an intimidating look to him.
I think Kim Bocamper, Kim Bocamper would be like a monster at, I watch every once in a while is this power slap that Dana White put together.
Oh my God.
I feel like Kim Bocamper annihilates
Dana
them.
White is a part of Power Slap?
He's the commissioner. He's the president of Power Slap. Oh, it's like he loves it more than the UFC now. It's crazy. It's like,
I mean, it's a sport about slapping a man. So, yeah.
He's like, it's already, I saw a headline the other day where it's already more profitable than sports leagues. I'm like, yeah, what do you pay as Power Slapper? Carton of smokes? Like, what do you pay a Power Slapper? Of course it's profitable. It's crazy.
$5,000 to come get the snot slapped out of you. All right.
Well, the big thing that got them this year was Shaq and Chuck were dead ass serious that they want to do a power slap at the Super Bowl with each other. And I'm like, that's what's going to make Power Slap big. If you can actually get Celebrity Feuds Power Slap, it's brutal though, dude. These not like, I'll send you some like reels of it or TikToks of it. It's like,
oh yeah, I like when they have the dust. Yeah,
it's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
crazy. Anyway, Josh Allen, yes, he has been the Dolphins' daddy. 10-2 in his career, including the playoffs. 3-2 at home though for the Dolphins. So not as good. And one of those two broke his ribs. Yep.
Did Tua break his rib? Oh yeah,
against AJ Epinesa.
AJ Epinesa, yes,
broke his ribs,
the rib breaker.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Austin Jackson's gonna have to get a little payback on that one.
Dude, you put out this picture of this video of Austin Jackson. He's really slim for a tackle.
Austin Jackson's a very fit offensive lineman. He's worked really hard on redefining his body, and I know Dolphin fans should be very proud that he's locked up for a significant, not long time, but three more years. Yes. I retweeted that picture because that's what your right tackle looks like. I mean, I see them, shirtless and all that stuff all the time, but his body has been redefined.
Let's hear a little bit from Mike McDaniel. He was asked this week about the Bills having their number. Here's what Coach McDaniel had to say about it.
No, I don't. I can't speak for other teams. This team, I think, does a pretty good job of understanding that each game is one in itself. I think the expectations, I've never that's just not part of the equation. I think it's one of the reasons this team has been able to minimize losing streaks to one loss all season is you understand that there's this is a tough game and an unbelievable league, and you have to earn everything you get, and then sometimes you are naturally humbled, but in that process I haven't seen anybody literally waver or blink, and they have full expectations to put on to put their best foot forward for this game, whatever day that is. Today's Wednesday. It's the only day that exists.
Well, now it's Sunday. Now this day exists, and this is the last thing that needs to be set in the playoffs, as the NFC is all set. The NFC playoff picture, boys. We have finished up. All the games are now wrapped up in the NFC. So we have 49ers are the 1 seed. They get the bye. 2 seed are the Cowboys, thanks to a little assist from the officials last week against the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
So they will be taking on the Green Bay Packers.
America's team, baby.
Green Bay Packers Cowboys is your wild card matchup next week. Then the 3 seed Lions are taking on the 6 seed Los Angeles Rams. And then the Buccaneers, they get to host the Eagles. Eagles dropped to 5. Eagles got to go on the road, defending NFC champs all the way to a road game.
Baker Mayfield.
So the Eagles' road to the Super Bowl is basically Tampa Bay, and then you're going to have to play the Cowboys.
Cowboys
in Dallas if they beat the Packers, and then 49ers. Whatever. I don't think anybody expects them to lose.
They're not playing as hot as they usually.
Man, Baker a Baker win over the Eagles would be glorious.
Yeah,
just glorious.
And they played early in the season, but that was when the Eagles were obviously playing much better football.
Yeah.
Much better football than they are right now.
I'm happy for Todd Bowles. He makes the playoffs again, even though their record sucks. But
hey, someone's got to win it. You
Yeah.
got them freaking out. I don't know if you guys saw the video. I showed Omar. I don't know if you saw it, Solana. Arthur Smith, the coach of the Falcons, freaking out on Dennis Allen because Dennis Allen ran up the score on them today. And he goes, "That F you, that's bull bleep." He's probably gonna get fired. That's why he's upset. He's got a terrible mustache, and his head coaching days are probably over.
He always came across as a coach who's in over his head for me.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Too cute. Trying to outthink himself.
I'm sorry, and I stand by this, and I said this back in the offseason when the Carolina Panthers, Washington Commanders, and the Atlanta Falcons had absolutely nothing at quarterback and decided that they wanted to do anything other than Lamar Jackson. I was like, you're crazy. I'd be negotiating that contract for the Ravens and putting a poison pill in it that would absolutely make them stray away, and my problems would be solved. If you didn't make that move and you didn't go that route, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And he's the MVP.
He's the MVP. He's the 1 seed, and he gets to kick his feet back this upcoming week. So the only thing that needs to be settled right now tonight: Dolphins sit at 2. If they win, rematch next week against the Bills at home. So all you Bills fans get to stick around for a week.
Yeah, you could just extend your stay, extend your hotel,
extend your stay. Even the happy couple that got engaged.
Spend a week, buy some new clothes.
Go El Palacio, or the what is it called now? The sports
El Palacio de los Jugos.
What is it now? It's the sports hotel.
The sports hotel. Yeah.
I've always said Steve Ross should buy it.
If he's not buying it, he's probably just like, come on, I own a grass farm. Too much.
That's true. I mean, but it's like the hotel right near your stadium. Like, why not just buy it and pimp it out? Make it your training camp stadium. Make it a whole Dolphins theme. Just call it Dolphins Hotel.
Dolphins Hotel.
And then you could have like little tours during the off season of the facility.
Yeah, man. Make the whole bottom floor like a Dolphins museum. You know what I'm saying?
The 3 seed right now is the Chiefs. So they're awaiting. If the Dolphins lose, the Dolphins would drop to 6 and go face the Chiefs on the road. The only matchup that's set for next week is the Texans and Browns. That's the 4-5 next week.
Ooh, that's going to be a good game. Hold on, Texans and Browns. Damn, I thought I was going to get Browns and Flacco.
Well, if Flacco wins,
right?
Yeah,
then
I gotta wait.
You can get your Flacco rematch against the Ravens. Ravens get to kick up their feet this week.
I gotta wait.
It's also another layer to why I want the Dolphins to win this game, because if the Dolphins win this game, they would avoid Baltimore in the second round, and we would potentially get Flacco Baltimore in the second round.
Yeah, you don't want none of that Ravens.
No.
Which
is why the Dolphins fan today that is saying, "Oh, Buffalo 2 weeks in a row." No, lose, tank this game so you get Kansas City on the road. Like, okay, so you're basically telling me you're comfortable with 1 playoff win.
That was the standard when we began the season.
Not for me.
No, okay, my bad.
No.
I forgot. I forgot. I've been here. You're
Not
right.
for me. But
you're absolutely right.
But wouldn't you rather just have a home playoff game in general?
Yeah,
despite of whoever it is.
Yeah, that's what's bigger than me than I'm telling you, dude. The Dolphin fan is going to be so cocky if they win this game against the Bills. That's the thing. Like, you guys. You will be. Maybe you won't own, but the fans are going to be swaggering, and they're going to make fun of the Bills fans. And they're going to say, "Bills fans, what's your excuse to?" I saw the story in the Buffalo News this week. They were already talking about this is the officiating crew that throws the most flags on the road teams. I'm like,
okay,
already you guys are starting? Like, you're preemptively like lining up the excuses. If it doesn't go your way, you're like, well, this officiating crew throws the most flags on the road teams.
It's a kind of important thing. No. I don't think I've ever known that in my life, but hey, cool.
I would never know that either. I would, as long as it seems you don't have that crew that did Lions and Cowboys the other day.
Ooh, know.
As long as you don't have that.
I don't know if they're able to do playoff games.
I think they're banned.
Yeah, I think they got the demotion.
I understand why though.
Yeah.
Like you can't have
Yeah.
that has to make Man Campbell's like so furious today when he's just like, "Are you kidding me? This is what I get. This is you guys got the and it's hard not to feel like like the old NFL is scripted. It's like it's hard not to feel like, oh, the Cowboys got the break there, huh? That's what we're doing.
You saw what he did today, though, Dan Campbell.
What did he do?
He drew up a play for number 70, the guy that they.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he drew up a play for him and threw him a pass in the game today.
If we were gonna
really,
go,
yeah,
are you serious?
Yeah, which is it was a flex.
if we were gonna
Definitely
go
a flex.
fat guy touchdown on the Dolphins, like is Rob Hunt the obvious pick because of his greatest touchdown that never counted?
Has to be Rob Hunt. But I think Teron Armstead, one, he plays left tackle, and two, he is a giant human. So if there was a guy you're throwing
him run, dude.
No, I'm not having Teron Armstead run around. Sorry.
Just make Christian Wilkins eligible.
Yeah,
somehow.
absolutely. Christian Wilkins has got to be it. I'm surprised Christian Wilkins doesn't play more fullback, to be honest with you. He might be your solution in the red zone.
They used
in the goal line.
They used to before Alec Ingold. Like it was just Christian Wilkins would bulldoze anybody in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're just scared of the ramifications of Christian Wilkins actually scoring a touchdown and what he'll act like.
Oh, he's already done it. He's already scored a touchdown. Remember when he went crazy on the sidelines?
I don't remember that. What was it?
Yeah. Oh, he did like 3 dance moves. He was getting all his celebrations off.
It's one of my favorite things about this Dolphins team when like the Dolphins score a touchdown, and for whatever reason, when the camera pans to the person that scored a touchdown, it's Christian Wilkins running from the sideline to like tackle the guy.
He's the first guy in.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's on the field goal team, so he's able to run onto the field. Yeah.
He made.
I don't think he'd even would relinquish his field goal block duties
because he wants to be out there for the celebration.
Absolutely.
I'm watching it right now. Christian Wilkins. He runs over Durham Smythe, goes into the stands, falls into the stands. They have to drag him out. Austin Jackson still can't get him out.
I think he did a worm. He did like 3 celebrations. Yes, it was a little bit over the top.
Yep, he's doing the worm right now.
Yeah. Then he like break dances or something at the end. Like yeah.
What was this? 2 years ago?
Maybe three.
I don't know when it was, but yeah.
So good.
Oh man, I need a Christian Wilkins sack on Josh Allen today.
Dude,
man.
Those two. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Listen, you may call Josh Allen your daddy, but he is the punk stepchild that does not like his daddy.
Josh Allen's
not like him.
testicles are very afraid about this matchup.
They're always fighting. They're always fighting.
If you punch my nuts, I'd be fighting too.
He grabbed.
You grab, punch, same thing.
Whatever.
Christian Wilkins do you really want to grab somebody's nuts? All you got to do is like thumb tap it, and it's on.
Hey, Omar.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes today, baby.
I'm with you on that one.
If it takes a Christian Wilkins handful of Josh Allen's nads,
what is the
whatever it takes?
What was the thing? Liv Schreiber. He described Mike McDaniel getting kicked in the nuts, and he goes, "Even if it's below the equator."
Below the equator.
Yeah, like that's what we need for Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins pulled no stops, even if it meant hitting Josh Allen below the equator.
Does Hard Knocks end this Tuesday? It's the final episode.
No, they follow the team as long as they keep playing.
Show goes on.
We got to have Christian Wilkins mic'd up today. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I know they're not going to give it to us in terms of letting us hear the obscene stuff that's being said during this game. But oh my goodness gracious, the trash talk between Christian Wilkins and Josh Allen, that's got to be legendary.
Nobody has a better job than the behind the scenes producers at Hard Knocks who get to really hear all the bleep talking between these guys. What Mike McDaniel's really saying when they're not showing us any of that, but they know. Those guys know.
We'll take a quick break here on Gameday Uncensored. Back with more of this.
Listening to WQAM for Talk.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's Game Day Uncensored here, 560 WQAM, as we get you to Dolphins and Bills. All right, guys, before we get out of here today, let us get to Predict the Game Ball, which is brought to us by the powerful and capable Lexus GX, now the 10.3-inch touchscreen. Expand your comfort zone. Experience amazing at your local Lexus dealer. Well, everybody we predicted last week did not come to fruition, boys, because they got spanked. So let's get it right this week. Omar, who do you think will get the game ball in a Dolphins victory today over the Buffalo Bills?
Josh Allen. No.
Are you going that way too? Have you gotten your mind right?
Listen, game ball, Devon Achane.
Ooh, I like that.
He's probably the only hope that you have because you need another weapon other than Tyreek Hill. And if he's giving you 100 rushing yards, you got a chance. Defense needs to show up.
They do need to show up. That's for sure. It is good that they are healthier with Jerome Baker. I don't know what version of Jerome Baker we're getting.
You better pray Jalen Ramsey shadows, because if he doesn't, it's going to be a steady diet of Eli Apple and Cater Kohu feast.
Man, but you want to what if Josh Allen gets too cocky and Eli Apple's right there for the pick? You know, again, it gets to do cocky Eli Apple things.
That would be
because this is not a humble player.
No, he's not a humble player.
That is the funniest possible scenario, right? Despite the Dolphins beating the Buffalo Bills to clinch the 2 seed and the AFC East title, it's Eli Apple securing the game-winning interception.
Kind of
That's
like
the funniest possible.
Remember
way.
when Noah won a Sunday Night Football game? Noah Benogany. I was like, wow. It's like, yeah, he won a game. You can never take that away. Take that away from him. Solana, who's your pick? Game ball.
Jason Sanders.
Really?
Okay.
How about that, huh?
Jason Sanders.
Look at you.
Another 5 field goal performance.
I am going to my grave with this game is not won in a blowout. It's not a shootout. It's going to be a struggle. Both teams, low scoring. And I think Jason Sanders, if the Dolphins are going to win, are going to have to get multiple field goals from the guy, just like they did against the Dallas Cowboys. To me, that's the way they win this game, the same way they beat the Cowboys.
Look at you coming full circle on Jason Sanders.
Proud of you.
I still think he's a bum, but the past couple weeks, he's He's been kicking field goals, and his leg has looked good. So
his leg has looked good. He looks like, is he up for a new contract? Like, what's the deal?
He restructured his contract.
All right,
so saved your team some money.
All right, there you go.
Just so you wouldn't have to go home shopping.
It's if you're looking for one silver lining from last week, it's that your kicker's still hot. Right? Going into this stretch of the season. Your kicker's still hot.
Sure.
Yeah,
right.
definitely hot. Man, though, listen, hey, don't miss a game winner, dude. Because everybody, all of the goodwill is going to be gone.
Oh, brother,
don't do that,
brother. You want to talk about restructuring and contracts?
Dude, let me just ask you a question. Can I ask you a question real quick? It's a tie game.
Mm-hmm.
No, nary. It's a 2-point deficit down the line. Tua sets up a perfect drive. Jason Sanders for the win. Do you believe it's going in?
No.
Wow. So you don't believe in him?
No, I don't.
At least he's consistent.
Wow. Really? 40 yards.
No.
Oh, come on, 40.
40 yards?
40?
You don't believe it's going in?
Just based on my life as a Dolphins fan. No, I'm sorry. I have PTSD.
Oh, so he's bringing in his past experience.
Oh, so he's scarred.
Yes.
Yeah. This is not.
I mean, all Dolphins. This is the reality of Dolphin fans. I'm sorry.
I'm not switching up how I feel about this game. I know how this ends just based on my life, my life experience.
So
I know how
hold
this
on. So if it ends differently and Tua puts on a cape and wins this game and shows you he's an elite quarterback, is that the nail in the coffin that this whole That's So Dolphins moment that we've had for 2+ decades is finally over?
No, but it certainly helps me feel a lot better about a playoff game next week, especially if they're healthier. I hope I'm wrong. Again, I hope I'm wrong, Tobin. I hope on Monday you're blasting me at 10 a.m. You were calling me the biggest coward. I hope people are clipping every video of me being a coward and calling me a bitch. I hope, I am praying
You're
that the
29.
Dolphins win this game.
You've never experienced anything but Dolphins misery.
But anybody my age or younger who is confident about this game today, you're a moron.
You're naive.
I think you've already had your That's So Dolphins moment. I think it was the Tennessee game. Like I think you're gonna win this.
But are
game
we
today.
really limited to just one?
No.
Well, no, because here's the cruelty of it. That's what Dolphins. Even if they win, you get a rematch next week. So it's the exact same scenario. Nothing changes. 23 years, same team, same Josh Allen record with just one extra win against him. So nothing really changes next week.
It's like the misery of doing it again.
You have to do it again. So, and there's part of me that also wonders, like, this is probably a really bad way to go. I'm picking Tua, by the way, to win the game ball. Just because you're a coward. That's the only reason. Because I want Tua to go 320, 3 touchdowns today, and I want him to find you somewhere and just be like Solana, double birds right at you. He's just throwing up his uniform number at you. That's what I want.
He's gonna do talk to me.
Yeah. But I want it's all gonna come back next week. Like that's the thing. Nothing changes. And I do wonder, it's probably a bad thing to think about, but like, is there a part of the Bills? Like, let's just say the Dolphins did something crazy, right? Like got up 24-0. Like, would the Bills do an Eagles and would they retreat and just be like, let's just rest everybody till next week? Because what's the point? Is there any shot the Dolphins could first half them and just be like, and scare them out of the game?
Yeah. Tua's got to be sharp.
I tell you one thing though, whatever the vibes are, and that's this fan base, the way they are with mental fragility right now, you can't get down like 2 scores early. Yeah, everyone's gonna freak out. The whole vibes of the building. People will be like, "Curse it, Tequesta's back." They can't. You need a 2-score lead immediately just to get everybody hyped up. I really feel like that.
You could use takeaway, momentum swing play, big return, like the things we haven't seen them do in a couple weeks. You want that, right? Like this is the game where you want Christian Wilkins to get to Josh Allen, force a fumble. You want Jalen Ramsey to have an interception. Like you need that tonight.
People stop throwing at Jalen Ramsey that they got that two interception game. They're like, all right, we're done throwing him for the season. We're done with that. So, now it's gonna be interesting. Is Fang's gonna bore him to death and be like, hey, stay there, Jalen. And Jalen Ramsey's just gonna be looking because no one's gonna throw at him. No one's gonna throw at him. If he just stays at one place, okay, we're great. Whatever's on that side of the field, even if it is Stephon Diggs, even if they stay in that same area, it'll be like, all right, we'll just go to Gabe Davis. So we'll go to one of our intangibles tight ends. But, it's going to be interesting because
Gabe Davis beating you is it's a gut punch, man.
It is
like at least Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, you're like, all right, fine. Gabe Davis, like the guy's so mid. He is so mid.
I understand, but he's very fast. He's very fast, and he's fast enough to torch your B cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful. You can't just let up on it. But I mean, like, no, man, like, I'm sorry. I'm not ready to be scared yet. And most of it has to do with the fact that the game is at home. Like they are better at home. They're a different team at home. We've talked about this all season on this show. They're a different team at home. And rematch, not a rematch, Josh Allen's record, whatever. They put themselves in a position where they're still in a really good spot. They win this 2 seed. That's a really good season. And you're sitting pretty going into this. I don't care if you got to face him again. Because then if you do win and you beat him, you're going to be super confident.
Absolutely.
Not going to be scared.
Or what are the odds of beating the team that has dominated you in the Josh Allen era 2 weeks in a row? They're not good.
What are the odds?
What? They're not good, Tobin. They're not.
They'll be favored?
They're not good, though.
What do you mean they're not good?
I'm not saying the Dolphins are. I'm saying the chances of you beating this team 2 consecutive weeks are probably not good.
I don't know.
They're probably not. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's impossible.
You're going by odds, so you're going by you're looking at this and be like, oh well, tails never fails.
Mathematically,
that's a weird place to be, dude. That's such a weird place. You're telling me you'd rather be like, oh, what are the odds we're gonna win twice at home as opposed to? I'll tell you what the odds are if you go out on the road, 50-50, because they lose half their games at home.
Not good either. Not good. I'd rather be at home against the Bills 2 weeks in a row. 100%. There's no doubt about it. Because
Plus,
if you do win
they
that
go
game
anywhere?
next
Would
week,
the Bills go back to Buffalo, or would they just stay down here? I wonder what they've done. Like, would they practice at like Barry University or something?
It's
like that?
too warm down here, right?
I don't know. Maybe they want to adjust.
Here. Yeah, they
got to
go back to the cold.
Like, what if McDermott, because he seems like a dummy. Like, what if McDermott is out here and he goes, "Oh, you know what? Let's just stay down here. Let's adjust to the South Line." And then you get a hungover Bills team for a playoff game.
You know they're cutesy though, right? Because McDermott probably told them, "Hey, pack one outfit. We're only there for the night, boys. We're not staying there the week. So
I so want to make a McDermott joke right now, but I'm not going to.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah, maybe not.
Nope,
Maybe
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
He's already suffered enough this year.
Tobin, I'm desperately.
But could you imagine, like, I mean,
hoping
honestly, like that being your head coach, like that's the guy who, like, these are the types of things that he says to get you fired up for a season.
I'd rather have McDaniel telling Marino, bleep you, Dan, coming for your records, baby.
Yeah, coming for your records.
Yeah.
I want to see a cocky McDaniel, you know, after saying like, because you know, like he's saving, you know, he says, oh, this is the day we like, that dude's a receipt keeper. Let me tell you something. I bet you move behind one of the Dolphins bookcases. He's got all the takes hidden somewhere. You guys just don't know about it, but I'm telling you, lift one of those playbooks like the Bat Cave. You know what it is? Just receipts of all the trash people have talked about him. Nerd boy, ball boy, weirdo, can't beat the Bills. He's saving them.
You're right.
You know?
You're absolutely right.
I'm telling you, dude. He thrives on that.
I think he mentally saves them.
Yep.
They're mentally locked in here. Because I remember the trash talk. He said, "Yeah, you guys wanted me to sign every back that was hitting free agency," and I was like, "Yep, you're right."
That's ridiculous because that's something they wanted. Like that didn't come from nowhere.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love when that gets thrown out there.
You're right.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Like he's like, "Oh, where'd you see that, Raheem? You saw that on alldolphins.com. I never wanted to trade you."
Yeah.
He goes, "All right, Mikey, sure." His bulb leap detector's up. He knows.
Wasn't a trade. It was just wanted to get it back to replace you.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see Dalvin Cook's his petty move this week?
Gonzo.
Yeah, with the Ravens, baby.
With the Ravens. How about that?
Listen, I knew when you give up $400,000 of guaranteed money, you got plans, and those plans are he was going to go play for I even called the Ravens on All Dolphins podcast because I was like, he's going to go play with somebody who he knows he can get a championship with.
Ring chaser. Bum.
Classic move. Classic David West. Am I right? Remember him? David West. Like, oh, never ring
bouncing
chase.
around, yeah.
And all he did was ring chase at the end of his career.
All he did.
Crazy, man. All right, everybody. That is our show for today.
You're confident,
All right?
Tobin?
I'm very confident.
Come on. Last minute here. You could be honest with me.
Yeah, I'm not.
You
I've
could
been
you
honest
could,
with
you
you the
could be
entire
honest with
show.
me. Come on, Tobin.
I've been honest with you the entire show, dude. I'm not scared of this Bills team. Nearly lost to Easton Stick. I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of Josh Allen. I'm not scared of these dummies. You know, whatever they think they want to throw out. The Bills take over. I bet you there's gonna be like 3 Bills fans there. You know?
Come on.
There's gonna be like 3 Bills fans there.
Yeah.
They said 53%. They meant actually 53 Bills fans. Exactly.
Oh, it's not going to be a Bills takeover, though. Dolphins fans are showing up today, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the ones that didn't, shame on you. Although I don't blame your greed. You know, got to make up for those season tickets. Very expensive.
And Dolphins fans, I believe Burlington is having a 2-for-1 on jackets for Kansas City next weekend.
We'll talk to you guys, whatever the playoff matchup is, next week. Enjoy the game, everybody.
This has been the Week 18 edition of Game Day Uncensored. The